Hello, everyone. Happy Easter. The Lord is risen, and I'm here drinking because Lent is over, and I'm here with some friends. We're going to be talking about the French Revolution, the Enlightenment, and hopefully give me some more ideas for future videos. So I'm here with Mauritian Struggle, Joshua. Someone is echoing. I am echoing.
I don't believe I've met Joshua.
Yes,
I know I
I'm
haven't.
here with Joshua, Ben, and the Mauritian Struggle. How's it going, everyone?
Yeah, great.
Right, so, how's everyone's Easter been?
Alcoholic.
I actually had I was so sick on Thursday from all the coughing. Well, I was so sick on Thursday, I just took the whole day off work and went to the doctor. It was just a CVS Minute Clinic. They told me my cough all this time has probably been caused by acid reflux. And they gave me some pills to take care of that, and I felt totally better the next day.
An Easter
And
miracle.
Was able to get my new video out. And so, yeah. So that was great. I was very blessed in finding that, and yeah. So hopefully you guys should be seeing more videos from me soon because I'm got my health issues out taken care of.
Unlike Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Oh,
So how have you been, Josh? How was your Easter?
But the joke's a bit late at this point. Easter was good. My church had our first Easter Sunday picnic. We've never done it before. It's like really non-traditional, so we've like tried a few different things the last couple years, and it looks like we're gonna do like recurring picnics where we celebrate, talk about like things that have been great in our life, and like play games with the kids.
Donald Trump. Texas.
Many people at my church would disagree about the greatness of certain presidents, but
Like that
I didn't
commie
vote for
Obama. Well, anyways, yeah, my church was good.
Friday I had tequila, which was great.
There was this nice early service. There was a nice service for the, we sang a lot of songs about Easter, and then we did the sermon. The sermon is part of a new series we're doing on sort of the very tough questions of like, why does God allow suffering? It literally brought me to tears because it told stories of people from the church who had their kids died, or they weren't able to have kids, or one of their arm, they could never use their arm again, or a bunch of horrible stuff, but really cool. So that's nice. People seem to have a good Easter.
Slightly
so I guess let's start talking about when the first time we fought the globalists in the French Revolution.
ooh, yeah.
I didn't know.
I like how people say that the answer to 1984 is 1776. I say the answer to 1984 is 1815. We kicked you bastards out at Waterloo, and you're trying to come back and take over us, you damn globalists.
Wait, what?
Napoleon was trying to conquer the world.
Yeah,
clearly. I mean,
but you actually support Napoleon?
No. I think he was way better than the French revolutionaries, but still, he was going to try and conquer once he had finished Europe, it was certain he was going to try and come over here and probably the rest of the world. So thank goodness it got stopped.
the answer to 1984 is not 1815, but 1215.
What was 12? Oh, yeah, Magna Carta.
Magna Carta, yeah.
Yeah, well, as I'm a Latter-day Saint, I'd say the answer to 1984 is 1830, but that's just Latter-day Saintism. So,
But
Watergate.
sorry, what? The frogs are turning the Watergate. I said this earlier, but you can actually look up Alex Jones does actually seem to be completely for real, because the fact that he you can look at interviews and like stuff he's done, back from the '90s, and he basically has the same temperament, is talking about the same stuff, even back in the '90s.
Yeah, that's his shtick.
So I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure how much of it is an act. But
I
you know
don't
what?
know
Guys,
either.
did I tell you about my frog hypothesis?
Sure. Your
So,
Pepe hypothesis.
No, it's really so everyone knows the fluoride in the water turns the frogs gay. Obviously, this is a fact.
It's globalists.
But
It's
the
globalists turning the frogs gay.
The French people eat the frogs, and that's why French people are gay.
Oh, snap.
I thought French people were Muslims.
They are Musulmans.
God, not this again.
Well, I was going to say about that whole thing with the... Oh,
Hey.
shoot, I forgot. I'm so sorry. I had something good to say, and then I forgot it. Let's move on to the next thing.
Actually,
gay
Fritz,
frogs.
Fritz,
Yeah.
Fritz, I just want to say to you, right? You might think it was the first battle against the globalists, but according to Varg, if you're a Christian, you must be an internationalist. So therefore, we are the true globalists, aren't we? Well, you are. Well, you are. I'm a deist.
Christians do not have a script, and therefore they are turning the frogs gay. I want to see Varg for Kierna Dickerness.
You guys know, though, that the gay frogs thing was really just one clip, and it was like at the end
I know.
of
There's a million better rants and lines from Alex Jones. Like,
Oh,
these
there
people
is.
are not freaking human. Hillary Clinton is our goddamn demon.
Well, the thing about Alex Jones, I think he's just a businessman,
Yeah,
He's
I agree.
a way to make money by selling tinfoil, and
Yeah, what are you talking about? He's selling
There's
high
no
quality
way
nutraceuticals
someone
and
gets-
water filters.
There's no way you get to that level without being really smart.
Yeah, I mean, he does have to be intelligent enough to make his whole business work,
Are you saying, Josh, that Alex Jones is playing four-dimensional chess?
No, I'm saying he's been put in place by the shrimp. By the
It
shrimp.
was the
to be the
globalists all along
intercessor.
who's controlled opposition.
I wonder
No.
do you guys know, is Alex Jones like actually an anti-Semite or whatever?
No, he's
No.
not an anti-Semite.
No, he's like
He's not a, he's
openly
not a
opposed
racist.
it.
He's not a not. There's like Stormfront and like the Daily Stormer hate him. They think they do not like him.
And so
Yeah.
does
He's
Aethon.
not a white nationalist to me, and he despises Nazis. It's sort of like being a Christian, where the far right and the far left both hate you.
Although I have to say, there's definitely one thing I can agree with the Nazis on, and that is that we should totally trigger Shia LaBeouf at every opportunity.
Do not divide us.
Yes.
I
That's
love.
definitely-
I can't. I just think that's amazing. Like,
I
they
heard
need
they
to figure
found
out. They need to hire these four. They need to hire Pol and B to the CIA, because they could do like they could do absolutely amazing sort of psyops. And just they could take out Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi in like.
Seriously.
Like one of them shows up in a frog mask and just shoots him in the back of the head.
I really
He just
think that
goes to Chevrolet.
if the Middle East was as connected to the internet as Europe and America are,
What
a
is
lot of the stuff that happens there just couldn't happen.
the Middle East?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking.
The thing is, though, they just couldn't be because of all the. I mean, they have censorship and stuff there, but yeah.
most of the B users have gone to Pol, at least most of the ones with useful autism.
Useful autism.
Yeah, weaponized autism.
That again, I think it's a great. They need. Trump needs to authorize the Department of Memetic Warfare.
God.
Oh, I actually
they
have-
actually did have that. They totally did have that. There was a. Let me look it up, but there was a thing like that.
Yeah, I actually have a couple of memetic warfare guides that I found from various like CIA related things.
It was back at the beginning of March.
Hello, Blackjack. I see you in the chat.
It was leaked, in the Vault 7 leaks that the CIA actually had an honest-to-God meme warfare center.
And they also like ponies.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
look it up. I'm not kidding. This was a real thing.
I have the documents on my computer. It's all you have all the documents. They're all public.
I know. I was gonna
Oh, I
say,
haven't actually read through the
"Oh,
Vault
yeah,
7
documents
documents,
right
but
here."
you know, if you think about it, I mean, I really think memes actually were super effective in this last election.
Oh yeah, I've had
to-
normies tell me that.
And the thing is, like, I mean, I'm not gonna. Obviously, I don't think Trump is like Hitler, but it is in the sense that you just repeat something, a lie or not, enough times, people will believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just the propaganda machine. The way this stuff was, yeah, it's perfectly said. It's they wanted to see the means of production, but we see the production means, and it's just like it was the best propaganda machine ever created because everything was against Donald Trump, but a few neckbeard base would manage to meme a guy into the presidency. Praise Keck.
Hey, I'm not gonna put up with even ironic paganism. Okay.
Listen,
Right.
listen. Praise Odin. All right.
well,
This
yeah,
is-
the first televised presidential debate was in 1960 between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon. And Kennedy, even though Kennedy completely trounced Nixon in that debate in terms of gaining support, largely
Yeah.
because of his hairstyle.
Mhm.
I mean, he looked so much more like, here is the young America of tomorrow versus the old and tired looking Richard Nixon. That changed
Nixon's-
politics forever. Now,
Did you get?
what the candidates are wearing and their hair and all that kind of junk makes all the difference in debates and on and of television appearances, and we've learned that that was learned in 1960. I think that this last debate or this last election of 2016 is when the political class has learned, similar to how they learned in 1960 about television, the political class has learned about memes now.
Yeah.
Oh bloody hell!
I mean,
So this is a lot like that election in 1960. It's a shift in how campaigns work.
I think
Go on.
what's really cool is I like how it's just like, what is the symbol of the 2016 populist revolution? A red hat. A frog and a red hat.
Frog. A
A
green,
green
frog
frog
with
and a red hat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a populist, so I wasn't on board the Trump train, but I have to say there's been so much stupid reaction from the left in these last few months that I'm beginning. And also, Trump has actually managed to do stuff that I didn't think he was going to be able to do. Now I'm thinking, if the election was held again today, I'd probably vote for him, even with the whole missiles into Syria thing. Because
I mean, the thing
he
is-
got a pro-life guy on the Supreme Court already, and he's only been in office for a few months.
The thing is, with Syria, it seems right by now that this was. I think it was both. It was both an attempt that so he wouldn't appear weak like Obama did when Obama said, "There's a line in the sand, chemical weapons." Assad does it, nothing. Trump just says, "We're going to launch the missile, but we're not going to go into Syria." I think it's also so he can terrify the hell out of the North Koreans.
Yeah.
My only problem with because the current policy we have towards North Korea is essentially completely isolate them and just manage to get the Chinese to stay away from them and just wait, because the North Korean society and government is eventually going to collapse in a few decades because the population is collapsing. They don't have enough food. Their government's completely corrupt. It's not a sustainable system. The only problem is that I think there's a good chance that once they realize that their days are really numbered, they're just going to go fuck it and sorry for the language and just launch up their nukes and invade South Korea in a sort of suicide charge.
Yeah, well, South
No,
Korea
no,
is
once they realize they're
going to beat the crap out of them because South Korea they still have a military, don't they?
Well, yeah, first off, they have twice North Korea's pop. They have got like 50 million people. North Korea's got 25 million. And also, secondly, the Japanese are allied with them. Thirdly, we're allied with them, which is the most important.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
China's
the thing
looking
about
like they're
South
allied
Korea,
over there, too.
I saw a funny comic about North and South Korea. It was really funny. It was like there's mining minerals in South Korea. Shows a guy in front of a computer screen playing StarCraft. And it says mining minerals in North Korea. And it's this guy in rags with a pickaxe with somebody with a gun behind him saying, "Work harder or I'll kill your family."
I mean, there's a similar thing where it's the Gangnam Style guy in South Korea. He's like screaming at like at women's rear ends. In North Korea, it's Kim Jong Un like screaming at like child workers.
Yeah,
This is the world's only necrocracy, though.
I just, yeah, I mean, there are other tyrannies in the world where it's like, okay, you're going to be seizing power over all these people and at least, you'll have your power or whatever. But with North Korea, it's like, what is the point? You are in control of the most backward country on earth that isn't.
No, man, they just don't want to submit to the central banks. They didn't do nothing.
They're fighting against
Didn't do nothing.
I've heard people actually make that argument.
Have you looked at their Twitter feed?
I love their
Wait,
Twitter.
North Korea has a Twitter feed?
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yes, one of the best.
Oh, I have got to see this. Would I just put in North Korea or what? No, I should say they wouldn't call themselves North Korea. They just call themselves Korea, wouldn't they?
No, they call themselves Glorious Republic of Korea. It's North Korea English, I think.
No, it's DPRK_news.
Sargon posted a Salon article, "Homophobia on the Rise in the Muslim World."
Really? I didn't
What a
know it was
surprise.
low enough that it could possibly rise.
I mean, well, maybe the Muslims are scared of the gays. That hasn't always been the case.
Yeah, they don't want to get fucked in the ass, do they? So they fight back.
Wait, oh yeah, here's the thing from the DPRK news service, Ben. Discovery of extraterrestrial life on Saturn, Moon, and Enceladus, of course, with a prediction of dear leader Kim Jong-il to 99.9th degree of certainty.
Oh yeah, I found it. Official news feed of Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
It's really funny when it's like, this sports team won, proving the glorious leader right again in his ability to predict.
Choco pies, disgusting Western influence cream-filled chocolatey pie stack are temptation and downfall to many virtuous Korean youth. Reckless bubblehead Donald Trump drops 21,000 pounds on Afghans in cheap attempt to awe U.S. foes. DPRK possesses 21 1,000-pound bombs. They're just trolling.
There was one where I was like, Kim Jong-il given posthumous award for inventing the internet.
Who?
Like,
Kim Jong-il.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just, there was once a time, like in the early 2000s, when in order to get wacky news stories, you had to filter for like a search term, like monkey.
What?
If you just look at all the stories about or mentioning monkeys, then you get lots of wacky news stories. But these days, just put on the news unfiltered. You get all kinds of wacky news stories.
Because the world we're getting is becoming more and
this
more
is-
like a cartoon.
This is great. Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un wins award for Best Korean Language Poetry and Best Writing on Economics at U.S. Pulitzer Prize ceremony.
Here's one.
What?
It's from the. It's you know how somebody built the Fearless Girl statue in New York City in front of the Charging Bull. It says this is theirs. Cruel statue depicting cruel statue depicting foolish girl moments before annihilation by horns of wild bull is subject to controversy in U.S. Capitol of New York.
This isn't
they're trying to say they're gonna
real
hire,
Korean
Tommy
news, is
Lee.
it? This has got to be a joke from.
I want it to be real though. I want it to be.
99%.
Yeah, this has got to be a joke page, dude. Seriously.
It needs to be real though.
I mean, it does sound like the kind of silly stuff that you might hear from the North Korean government, because every now and then they do say something completely wacky. But that just sounds too contrived. You know, it sounds like an imitation.
Yeah, it's true. It probably is fake, but the thing is, what does it say that it's hard to tell these days?
Oh
Code
man,
law.
it is hard to tell. It's even hard to tell with China, but
China.
it's impossible to tell for sure with North Korea.
I mean, how much do we even know that really goes on there? I mean, the dear leader Alex Jones says that in China they have cows that produce human milk.
Well,
It wouldn't surprise me that they would try something like that.
Well, China isn't anywhere near as closed up as China isn't all that closed up anymore. I mean, they have like controls on their internet.
The Great Firewall.
In terms of, yeah, but everybody under 30 in China knows how to get around it.
The thing is, like, it shows right now that, like, you know, tons of movies now have to sort of cater to the Chinese market because there's now because the quality of life in China is ever increasing.
At least, well, you say China, but China is such a huge country. The quality of life in the special economic zones is actually
That's
right
true,
on
that's
par with the
I
West.
mean, yeah, in the big cities generally, yeah, there's a booming middle class in China. Just like to say that the vast majority, that it's not just a few communist officials and everyone else is a starving peasant now.
Have you seen? Oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
What I'm saying is, there's a big enough market there now that they have to start appealing to it in Western movies. That's why in Rogue One they had to star two actors that are really big in China.
And that's why they didn't have someone from Nepal play the
You mean Tibet?
sorcerer. Tibet. They didn't have someone from Tibet play the sorcerer.
There is no Tibet. It's all China.
Exactly.
The thing about
Okay.
have you seen the Wired documentary on Shenzhen? Or no, Shenzhen?
Schengen.
Shenzhen is
to you guys
in
later.
Europe. I'm at Shenzhen.
No.
No, I haven't.
Oh, well, that might be worth looking at. I think it's like called Future Cities or Tech Cities or something. And it's a documentary series by Wired. But the one that's worth seeing is the one on Shenzhen, which is one of the, like, in the special economic zones in China. And that's where a huge number of the Chinese knockoff electronics come from. And basically they have these street markets where you can buy cell phone parts and basically build your own cell phone. And wow,
Like a
they have
smartphone or just like an old
everything
cell phone?
there. Smartphones,
Okay. Yeah.
Android and Apple.
Not like an old flip phone.
No, not like top of the line brand new stuff.
Okay.
And they have all the parts to let you build just about anything you can imagine in terms of phones and small electronics. You could the stuff you can do there is just amazing. Stuff that, like, there would be so many like problems trying to do, like patents and lawyers and junk, trying to deal with, trying to make products in the West. But in China, they don't care. You just build it. And you'll find, if it's good, you'll find a dozen people start copying you. So you just build the next thing, And if you're a builder, you'll win. And it's just that simple.
Free market.
Yeah, it's a free market. It's more of a free market than we have here.
Isn't it
At
glorious?
least for electronics. And that's wow. I mean, the free market really is a powerful thing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just too bad that their political and social freedoms really aren't there.
and that's the thing, though, isn't it? Is that's the theory? Is that economic freedom correlate is no, sorry, there's causality between economic freedom and social freedom. Doesn't actually seem that way with China, does it?
Yeah, not so far. Now that might change in the future, but so far there seems. I mean, the Chinese government is still communist, still very oppressive,
Quote unquote communist.
Well, I mean, still officially communist, and still very oppressive.
Although right now the thing is, the seeds of its undoing are being so because there's now more Christians in China than registered members of the Communist Party.
Yeah, they are starting to realize, I think, that, well, I think their leaders are kind of old and fat, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we don't care so much anymore as long as everybody's doing okay, whatever, you know? I don't think they're quite as committed to Marxism as they used to be. But then every now and then somebody will wake up and go, oh yeah, we're still supposed to be Marxist. You know?
The thing is, like, I think the days of the Chinese government, like, lining up millions of people and murdering them, I think those are over.
Yeah.
A few people might die here and there. That's terrible. People will get arrested, but they're not gonna. I don't. First off, because I think you know, the whole world would know about it, and secondly, like, I don't think the Chinese government really wants to just, you know, start murdering citizens anymore.
Not like they used to.
No. But I mean, it's this stuff has sort of ended ever since the idea of them being Marxists has really ended since, what was his name? The guy, Deng Xiaoping, I think, said, you know, it doesn't matter whether the cat's black or white so long as it catches mice.
Yeah.
Now, the one-child policy was a mistake. Or at least in the sense that preferring girls to boys, because anytime you have a massive gender imbalance like that, it's never a good sign.
Yeah, they've actually gotten to the point now where in some areas of China they're trying to construct actual rewards for procreating to have more than one child.
Because this is the thing is the Chinese economy could collapse easily if in a few decades, because you're going to have hundreds of millions of old people, but not very many young people to support them. But
and also you get what you have when you have more males than females is you get street gangs.
And you get rape gangs.
Yeah, I mean it's just what happens, you know, and
also, like,
that also depresses your economy.
Also, what historically happens when you have a very large portion of young men who are very sexually frustrated, who need to take it out somewhere? Oh, look, you have an army.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that's what's happening to Europe, where you have a bunch of sexually frustrated young men from migrants. They're like, where the fuck do we go?
It's funny you mentioned sexual frustration. Look at the chat.
What? Oh no! What is going on in the chat? They're probably saying all kinds of crap about us.
They're talking about religious freedom, Coptic Christianity. Is Coptic Christianity compatible with Islam? I don't know, but the Islamic State certainly doesn't think so.
Now, I must confess, I'm not entirely sure what Coptic Christianity actually means. What does that mean?
I think at the very least, my knowledge of it is that it's one of those sort of Eastern churches that's I suppose within the apostolic tradition, but it's not Catholic. Like Coptic
is an actual denomination.
Yeah, they have their own pope.
Okay, I did not realize this.
I think Egypt is where St. Mark went. Now, I'm not an apostolic Christian, which I don't know what people have to make of that, but oh well.
I know you, Viking. Don't worry. The others won't know.
I'm Baptist. We're the best. We president now. Actually, the Presbyterians are I think I need to start a global conspiracy against the Presbyterians because they control everything. They were a very large portion of our presidents. And, You know,
Yeah,
Donald Trump is technically a Presbyterian. They're some of the worst Christians because they're Calvinist and liberal.
Oh, well, you forgot about the Anabaptists. They obviously control everything too. Why not?
With the Amish,
No, yeah, like the Anabaptists. They're just running everything from behind the scenes. You know.
no, the Amish are like probably are one of the fastest growing demographics in the world because, you know, the average Amish woman has like 6 kids, but like they can still use like modern hospitals. So unlike in Nigeria or someplace where half the kids are going to die, almost all the kids are going to survive. And like 90, like the Amish, because like when Amish kids like grow up, like become like 18 or 19, they have to like live a year in the modern world, and 90% of them still want, you know, come back and say I still want to be Amish.
Mm.
Yeah, they don't have any other skills.
Well, then also it's like this is the community they've grown up in. These are all the values they've lived with. This is where their family and friends are. So, you know, it makes a lot of sense.
I was gonna say the thing about the Amish is they don't have anything to do except have babies.
And make high quality furniture.
Yeah, and plough fields when they're not ploughing their wives.
Yeah. In missionary positions, right?
For the purpose of procreation only.
You have some
Image-
silly people in your chat. This is like Hitler invented atheism.
Tyler Preston would just Tyler Preston would say that atheism was created by America.
Don't call him that. He's the holy pope of the Castolicist Church. Remember?
The Catholic Church.
Yeah,
The
Catholicism.
unholy Catholic Church.
Jesus Christ.
So it seems a bunch of people like I listened to Theresa May's Easter message. She mentioned Christianity a lot. Like she sort of made it clear, like, you know,
Well,
you'll like this, Ben. She said like, you know, part of our country's tradition is, you know, we need to, you know, acknowledge and respect our country's Christian heritage and, you know, respect people's, you know, freedom of worship, and that absolutely includes Christianity. People didn't like that.
Oh
I'm not
wow!
surprised. I'm not
Just the
surprised.
fact that she said that includes Christianity.
Yeah, it was a very sort of pro-Christian message.
Really, I'm surprised. Isn't Theresa May the big social justice person?
No, not at all. She's.
Oh, I got
conservative.
her mixed up with. Oh, I got Teresa. I was
Diana,
hearing
maybe.
Teresa, and I was thinking Trudeau. My bad.
No, Theresa May, like she, again,
I'm
my
sorry.
thoughts
I
on
got
that
the
is that she
names
seems-
mixed up in my head. I got the names
Seems
mixed
like-
up in my head. I
like-
thought you were talking about the Prime Minister of Canada.
No,
Cut
Prime
Minister,
Minister of the UK.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
she
Prime
seems
Minister
to
of the
be- she seems
UK.
to-
Yeah, Theresa May. Sorry, I got mixed up.
She seems to have turned out a lot
Yeah, I
better.
know. I
than
get
we thought
irritated
she would.
sometimes too that it's not Farage.
Yeah, well, it's never going to be. I mean, wanting Farage, it would be excellent, but it's sort of like wanting Ron Paul to be president. It would be wonderful, but the thing is, Nigel Farage, he got what he wanted: Brexit and hard Brexit.
You know, I hope Jake, like just an arsehole might know, but the guy I hope's Prime Minister at some point is a guy called Jacob Rees-Mogg. If you've ever heard of him,
No,
he's like a really, really, really conservative guy, and like he's very very Catholic actually.
oh, that's not
And-
just why.
I mean, he probably won't make it to Prime Minister because of that, but still, he's got the swagger and he's got everything, and he's clearly very, very educated and intelligent.
I mean,
now.
Margaret Thatcher managed to become prime minister, but she was a Methodist.
Yeah.
Again, I love it how history has repeated itself, where it's like you now have conservative prime minister and populists. You know, it's like Thatcher and Reagan, now May and Trump. I mean, I just can't imagine how pissed off the SJWs are in Britain, where it's like, you know, you have 2 female prime ministers, but they're both from the Conservative Party. One was like a genuine sort of hardline anti-communist, you know, Cold Warrior. The other one is like,
Whoa!
push hard
Look
for
at this.
Brexit.
Even the Guardian says that Shia LaBeouf's art projects are ridiculous.
You will not. I love the little video of the girl going onto the stream, and she just starts screaming, "Get off my stream, normies, ring!"
Was that like Brittany Venter or something in it? Or
Yeah.
Brittany Bentley. Oh man, she's
The hero.
I was just searching because I wanted to find out whether season 5 they've found a way to disrupt it yet.
Oh yeah. Wait, is it still going on?
I think season 5's still on at the moment.
Well, Shia LaBeouf has put it back up.
Well, he's now doing this weird thing about being isolated in a cabin, but
Yeah.
you can interact with him through this museum exhibit and his two Hollywood douchebag friends.
Why doesn't he just go back to being in Hollywood and being rich?
Because his movies are terrible.
Yeah, but he still makes lots of money.
Yeah, I must
Well,
admit,
I think Hollywood has caught up with the fact that his movies are terrible and that no one likes them.
Transformers is a masterpiece. And so was Indiana Jones.
Don't even joke about that.
Skull.
I saw the first one. It was bad.
the first
That's all I have to
was
say. Well, it did have music by Linkin Park that was okay. I could say that.
Or get off my stream now, Normie.
The Linkin Park music was okay. It wasn't like brilliant, but it was okay. I kind of like Linkin Park.
From the
But
planet Cybertron.
other than that,
Look, here's the thing. I watched episodes of the original Transformers series.
no,
That's
I never
almost-
did that.
That's
So
almost as terrible because
it's too young for them.
it's just to sell the toys. Because my older cousin is Gen X, and like he was really into Transformers. He still has them at his house. I'm sure his fiance really loves that.
the thing about the Transformers is they were like
They were
originally to sell toys, you know? And well, I haven't seen any good Transformer toys in a long time. Have you?
That's some fun. The ones from the movies were pretty cool.
They actually had ones that actually transformed.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, because I haven't seen them around. Like, I wasn't seeing them around when the movies were out, and I haven't seen. I can't remember seeing a Transformer toy that actually transformed since like 2004 or something.
That's the last time I got one, and I was like 10 years old.
I would have been like 20 years old. No, I would have been 20 years old in 2017
And I thought it was
or
dashing
in
Irish.
2007 or
Absolutely.
something. I would have been like 16 or something around there.
All right, Marisha, that's amazing. The Chronicles of Dawkins, the katana, the trench coat, the fedora.
Wait. Where
It's a
atheists aren't awesome enough to have katanas. What are you talking about?
Look, it's the art of the blade, While you guys are out partying, I learnt the art of the blade. Milady.
While you guys were out worshiping a sky daddy, I was learning.
You're a sky daddy.
I was learning a script.
Yeah. Well, Christian knights have swords, but atheists don't. So
Also, the
there's
katana was
that.
a piece of the katana was a garbage sword. Anyways.
What are you talking about? Glorious Nippon steel.
No, the Naginata was a much better weapon, and
Obviously.
also, any European broadsword would destroy it.
It's still not
Also,
getting.
guess what? The thing is, the Chinese beat everyone because they invented, guns.
Yeah. The
I mean,
Chinese were pretty good with the gunpowder.
I mean, that just,
If only
that's about
Europe
20 to
hadn't
1.
infected them with drugs.
that just turns everything into that scene from the first Indiana Jones movie, where the guy's where the Arab guy is swinging the sword around, and Indiana Jones takes out a revolver and shoots him.
Yeah, that was awesome. I heard that wasn't even planned. That was ad-libbed.
He actually killed a guy.
No, the gun had blanks in it, but it was expected. It was scripted that there would be a big sword fight.
Mm-hmm.
Only as a joke on set, Harrison Ford just pulled the gun to, as a joke, and the guy fell over, and the director did not expect that. But he was like, the director was just like,
That makes
Okay.
total sense.
that's a wrap.
Yeah,
It makes total sense. It's funny.
yeah. Scotch said something you should do. Fritz, you should stream with Reese from Nightmare Fuel. That'd be quite funny to
I
watch.
don't know who that is.
He's basically a smaller version of Atheism is Unstoppable with about double your subscribers. He's quite small, but he's quite
You will
funny.
be murdered.
Yeah.
You will be the sacrifice to the blood god.
Yeah, I'm
Someone
thinking I
invite
need
someone
to do
to press
something that actually increases my subscribers. I've been
Oh,
doing all this serious red pill stuff that isn't really going to get me popular, And I'm thinking I need to do more popular stuff.
Scott
yeah.
McInnes, I don't know if he's like a sycophant of mine, but whatever. I guess
He's everywhere. He's like everywhere. Like everywhere
You
I
know-
look, I see Scotch.
But you know, apparently Ghost of Buckley managed to get on V's channel, the Romanian guy. I don't even want to look at that because
Well, I was going to
I can't-
ask the chat, since so many people are chatting here, what do you think I should do that might get to be more popular?
make a video on crap. What was it called? Oh, this is why I don't drink. I didn't drink. I forgot everything.
Oh, well. I'm sorry. I guess that's just killing conversation. Let's keep going to do something else. Do trending topics. Okay, let's look at what
Hey, guys.
Twitter wants us to think about right now.
Guys,
Foreign.
let's get Tyler on. Let's get Tyler on here,
Do
like,
it.
if we can. Get
Do
Tyler
it.
Preston on here.
I will complete your training.
Let's see. Cleveland. That's a place that I don't want to talk about. Happy Easter.
Hey, he's
Happy-
on.
Chocolate for breakfast day. Hashtag RHOA. What is that?
Bee Gees. The Celtic.
What is RHOA? Well, it looks like something to do with. It looks like something to do with politics or civil rights or something.
The Civil Rights Act was a mistake.
RHOA. Well, there's a big hashtag apparently. That's
There's all these women of color.
yeah. What? Let me Google it.
I'm sorry, folk of color. I'm sorry, Negroids of color.
You are really evil. Portia Williams slams Kenya Moore for provoking fights in People magazine. What? Real.
All right, let's talk about-
It stands
you're
for
right.
Real Housewives of Atlanta. Apparently.
Okay, we're definitely talking about. We definitely need to start talking about celebrity gossip.
Well,
I mean,
I don't
we're gonna
know.
blow our
I'm-
brains
I'm-
out
I'm-
after 5 minutes of talking about it, but
I was trying to wait. Why is Isaiah a Twitter topic? I mean, surely they do not mean the Old Testament prophet. So what do they mean? Oh, it's a sports thing.
the Celtic. I have no idea why they call it the Celtics. That's the only time anyone ever pronounces it that way is with the basketball team. Everyone else in the world, it's Celtic.
Okay, sorry guys. I'm not seeing anything in trending topics that's going to sustain a brain cell, let alone a discussion. So we struck out on that one. Someone says, please respond to Brother Nathaniel. Who is that?
Hey, guys. Mathonia's got a good idea. Why don't we respond to the video that the Amazing Atheist made on Sir Thomas Aquinas?
He made a video on the Thomas
Yeah,
Aquinas.
let me find it.
Is it
We're
new?
we
No,
can't
it's not, but it's
talk
quite. It's not, but it's quite funny.
because Amazing Atheist is not smart.
But oh, really? Holy shit!
Yeah, he embarrassed. I mean, do we really want to even talk about him? Because he embarrassed himself on the whole. OMG, my stuff is being censored. Only it turned out it wasn't.
Yeah, he's has like a lot.
Yeah,
of
I mean,
people
Mom
use
Mohammed
his victim
Kenyans
complex.
totally owned him, and it's just like, do we really even
All right,
need
well,
to address him? at
No,
this
we're just
point?
doing this to laugh at him. Like, we're just doing this to laugh at him. Though. That's
Oh,
the
this
thing.
is funny.
Okay.
Somebody had the good idea of let's just go to poll and look at it. All right, suspect search. This is funny. The suspect search, the description: dark white skin.
Okay, apparently this Brother Nathaniel guy, he appears to
God.
be somebody who dresses up as some kind of apparently religious person and then does videos about politics, which appear like they've got to be some kind of parody or satire.
Oh, he's hilarious. He just sits there and rants about the Jews in this kind of suit thing. It's quite
Okay.
funny.
All right. Well, why would I respond to him? Emmanuel Kant. Aquinas is garbage. Get a real argument for God, like Kant's. I
Wait,
think Kant did believe in God, but he didn't argue for the existence of God. He regarded it as a matter of like pure faith to believe in God, and thought that you should totally disconnect your ethics from any possible belief in God.
Mm.
And so I don't remember him actually offering an argument for the existence of God, though. That would be doing the kind of metaphysics that he says you can't do. So, I don't know, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he did have an argument for God somewhere that I just didn't hear about. I don't know.
This is a little bit. I know we already did this, but this is. I can't pass this. I can't ignore this. But this is another DPRK news service. Creature known as "quote unquote" Yoda is denounced for philosophical and moral deviations from Juche teachings of great leader Kim Il Sung.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, see, that's a satire right there. Besides, I think Kim
Who's
Jong-il, I'm pretty sure he's a Star Wars fan.
Please
He's a
respond to
definitely
logic.
basketball fan. Well, he's a fat little pig, isn't he?
Who is
I'm
this?
sorry, dear leader. Don't shut down the stream.
Yeah,
Praise the dear leader.
Fritz, I think it's the labor camps for you and all your relatives for that.
Wait, I live in America, though. I live in the free country.
Well, you better not go to North
You keep
Korea,
thinking
because
that.
you'd be in the labor camps within like 5 minutes.
Don't worry, Donald Trump will protect me. I actually live.
Scary North Korean nukes.
My address is actually 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
yeah.
I live in. Look, we are the aliens, born on a distant planet. We will be prepared for the final battle.
Okay, Emmanuel Kant on the chat says that Kant believed God was necessary for morality to exist. That's not the Kant I remember. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to see your sources on this.
Mathoma said Kant was a spurg.
Yeah,
They're all spuds, pretty much.
I think it was completely outrageous that I was able to get a bachelor's in philosophy without a course dedicated to Kant. He needs his own
Really?
course.
Thank you, Prussia.
So I do respect the guy in that he said a lot of stuff that just needs to be studied if you're going to call yourself a philosopher. But on the other hand, I think that a lot of his premises that he's getting from Hume are wrong because Hume is wrong, and that's so I just don't agree with a lot of his premises.
I mean, here's the thing: is that I think don't worry, you guys in the chat. My Prussian history videos are going to continue. I was very lazy. I think I'm just first off, I'm going to stop making update videos because I never actually live up to them. And secondly, I think the thesis I'm going to have is that Prussia's sort of military martial culture and sort of emphasis on strong morals that didn't actually come from the Teutonic Knights. It came from Thomas Hobbes and the early Dutch Republic. That's where all this came from. Because the guy who became the royal historiographer of Brandenburg, a guy by the name of a Saxon by the name of von Pufendorf, he was an ardent student of Hobbes after the 30 Years' War, and basically after the horrifying carnage of the 30 Years' War, the sort of unbridled human rage and like bloodlust, the people of Brandenburg, Prussia, sort of figure out, okay, this is what happens when you don't have a military, you don't have a strong moral culture. We need to fix this. And so, essentially, what they try to do is set up a system, an internal and external system, so an army and a moral code, to prevent anything like the 30 Years' War from ever happening again. And they were essentially successful for like 2.5 centuries.
I said it there.
So so the Teutonic Knights didn't create Prussia. Thomas Hobbes did.
Well, I'm so sick of explaining. I've been through about 3 or 4 different people today, just explaining objective morality to them. It's getting really boring.
Look, honestly, all morality is just your opinion, man. I mean, it's like the Nazis weren't. I mean, I know I'm going to say that you're just an objectively bad person and God is an objectively bad person, but morality is still just is subjective. It's my own opinion.
Yeah, that is the stupidest thing ever. You're going to say morality is totally subjective and just opinion, and God is a big fat meanie who is just morally terrible. Choose one. You have to choose one. You can't have both.
Hey,
Wait,
listen,
hold on.
listen.
If
It's
God
only
is
God's
the
opinion. It's
world,
only God's
why?
opinion, guys. It's only God's opinion, so therefore everything's subjective. Why
It's
not?
God's. I mean, because God is just a human being, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I prefer they choose the one where they say God's bad, but there is a real morality. You know, that one's at least make some kind of, you know, it can be sort of internally consistent. You know, but you're going to say there's no morality, but here is the moral judgment. It's
Yeah.
just the stupidest thing.
And the thing is, it's like this is my problem is when they say, well, you know, Muslim, you know, they'll complain like, you know, Europe has a nihilistic, self-hating culture, but Muslims need to integrate into the self-hating nihilistic culture. They're not going to do
Yeah.
that. First off, they're not going to do that. Essentially, this is just saying to a person, all right, you can either be homicidal or suicidal. Choose one.
Yeah, I need to make a video where I just compile some of these, you know. Some of these just examples of doublethink in the modern age. And one of them would have to be the one of the electroshock therapy. Somehow it's totally okay to have voluntary electric shocks as part of an S&M session. But it's absolutely wrong and needs to be against the law to have voluntary electric shocks as part of conversion therapy. There is no possible world in which those two judgments make sense together.
Well, they do. Well, I mean, they don't make sense, but they do exist in our modern world.
Yeah.
Oh, St. Clair's in the chat. How are you doing, St. Clair? Do you want the link? You have to be a good boy though in the chat. No weird nihilistic weird stuff. But yeah, I will say this. I think I'm gonna make some.
Take a break for a sec. I'm gonna just be right back and be on mute for a while. So I'll be back in a little bit.
I think my what I'm gonna say is I think I'm gonna start making. I think I have an idea for a video series I'm gonna make on gaming where I just want to do like. I'm gonna play through like a certain number of games and just sort of do commentary as I play through them. You know, I'll record the footage, edit everything out, so it's sort of just no massive like no big no mistakes, and just sort of do commentary over it. So like Bioshock Infinite, I'm like playing through Dishonored now, which I like that game a lot actually. I love the environment and atmosphere of that game.
And there was silence.
Silence.
Yeah, we need to invite Tyler on though. Seriously.
All right, invite him on. Send him the link.
Nah, I can't PM him. He doesn't follow me, and I'm not supporting it. If I just put out the like Hangout link just like out there, then just randomers will join, and it'll be like when I posted it on poll.
Don't post it on poll, please. Only I can.
I'm not going to post it on poll. But I'm just thinking, like, wait, does Tyler follow you?
No. He didn't like a tweet I did when he talked like, when he was bad mouthing like transubstantiation. I said, well, I don't actually believe in either because I'm a Protestant. So it's like, yeah, I don't believe that it magically turns into the blood, but I don't have a problem with him believing that.
Actually, like, can I mention something unrelated? I need to get the EU4 stream thing doing again.
Oh yeah. We need to be super drunk. It seems the best when we're all super drunk.
When Ireland invaded me and conquered like 2/3 of my territory.
What did we do wrong? I basically made Hungary my bitch because I said, yeah, everyone beat the crap out of you while Brandenburg absorbs lots of territory. Mr. Sparks, hashtag Jesus did nothing wrong. Aristotle's too much for Protestants.
No, either that we should stream Steel Division or something. That'd be quite interesting.
I don't know what that game is.
It's a new one. It's basically like if you've ever played War Game, if anyone in the chat's ever played War Game Red Dragon or something, it's basically the Second World War version of that. So it's like landing in Normandy, fighting against like the Germans and I think a couple of Italian divisions as well. It's quite good. It's not out yet, but the beta is really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I love Men of War Assault Squad is already like an excellent.
It's like
Uh,
that, but it's like that, but a much higher scale one. So
Yeah, yeah.
stick the link. I'll stick the link in the chat to the trailer.
I just love I love terrain that's like super destructible and like you can just sort of control units and has realistic damage. Where
Oh
all
yeah,
right,
you'll love this game. You'll love this game then.
Yeah, I'll
I'll
love
put-
it when it's on sale.
I put the. It's not out yet. Actually, it's out in like 6 weeks. But I'm playing the beta.
Mr. Stark, talk about Jews. We worship the risen Jew, Jesus Christus. Although to be honest, he was only half Jewish. He was half deity as well. No, he was 1/3 deity.
Why?
But,
Why?
you know, the thing I always find interesting is that, like, Jesus seems to be like it's difficult for us today to sort of comprehend or understand more of what Jesus means because we've been sort of steeped in Christian culture for so long. But back in the ancient world, Christianity, everything in Christianity was a massive sort of challenge in the pagan world. Like even like Abraham and Isaac, that's a challenge. Like the idea that Abraham not killing Isaac and God providing a sacrifice, that directly contradicts all pagan human sacrifice. It says, no, this is not what we do. God provides the sacrifice, not us. We don't have to appease him by sacrificing something to him.
Okay. You see, this is why we need Tyler Preston. It would just make it. It would make the stream.
Make it more diverse, huh?
Like just trying to explain objective morality to him would be interesting.
But
Like
some people think that, and some people think that, Catholicism is right about everything. But I got kicked out of my house because my mama is religious. That means all religious people are evil. If your kid comes out as an atheist, will you kick him out? No. Would you kick out your kid if he became a Christian? Yes.
Yeah, we all know that that's just.
Jefferson Bible is an unforgivable sin, Scotch. It's a disgusting, horrible idea. Thomas Jefferson is hell because, like, if you don't know, Thomas Jefferson wrote a Bible, like his own version of the Bible, of the New Testament, where it takes out any references to divinity and of any Jesus of having any divine. So it's basically just Jesus as the moral teacher, and well, the Bible says that anybody who like adds or takes away from the Bible will like be cast into the lake of fire. So sorry, Jefferson, but you're burning in hell.
Right. What do you think of Easy on Me?
Who's that?
He's the ex-Muslim who lives in Canada. Have you seen him?
As far as they're Canadian, I'm like, I don't care. Your country doesn't want to be part of the new Anglo-sphere empire prosperity of Brexit and Trump. So,
what do you guys think of Luther? Which one, Luther King or just Luther?
Martin Lucifer King.
Martin Luther King and shit. I like Martin Luther King. I've changed my opinion somewhat on Luther himself.
He did. I mean, Martin Luther King did believe in electroshock therapy. So.
Oh bloody hell! So it's basically Mike Pence then.
He's
Black
Mike
Blood.
Davis. Yeah, that's gotten old. But Fritz, if you don't make a video on Dark Souls, then I will. I will make a Dark. I'm playing through the game a second time and recording all the footage. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to make more response videos. I don't like making response videos. I want to talk about more important stuff than response videos. Oh, look.
DJ is a fucking beast. How dare you insult the author of the Deck of Infidi? Fuck your Bible, okay?
I think an easy video I can make is, since my April Fool's video was why I'm not alt-right, I can just, actually go in depth and explain why I'm not part of the alt-right.
Wait, if you said no on April Fool's Day, does that mean you're technically that you are all right?
No.
No.
The joke is obviously the joke is that it was such a short video.
Yeah, fair enough. You need to make something properly.
Yeah, and it's mainly just the fact that I've never understood. First off, I'm sort of disgusted by racism in both sides. If somebody says I hate black people for X, Y, and Z, no, and this to say white people, no. I'm
Yeah.
thinking like again, I said this earlier, but if you're a Christian, you're hated by the far right and the far left, because the alt right thinks Christianity is a cuck religion, hail Odin, and the far left set thinks hates the fact that you believe in objective morality, believe in something other than the state, and believe in the traditional family. Hail Satan.
Yeah.
I
need
mean,
to
I know
release
all
one
this
video.
because I have the documents from InfoWars.
Yeah, I got a video to release actually, guys. I got a video coming out probably tomorrow or the next day on pathological altruism, so it should be interesting.
Oh, I'd be very interested to see that.
Oh,
Hey,
hello.
Hello. Hello, Marisha.
How are you? How was
Hello.
Easter?
hey.
It was nice. I had breakfast with my family, and we don't normally eat together as a family unit anymore. So that was actually nice.
Okay,
That's good. Yeah,
We kind of just live separate lives in the same house.
yeah, I know what that's like. It's not great.
Yeah, I started to do that now. I should eventually move out because I'm an adult, but I need to finish this job I'm doing now so I can like use that on my resume so I can start applying for more journalism jobs. I'm a games journalist. I could do that eventually and ask me anything. Like I am technically a games journalist, so. And I just need to say the truth is Gamergate is hate, guys. Gamergate is hate.
Hey, gamers are over, mate. What are you talking about?
Gamers are over. Leia Alexander is the goddess.
I need to find a job, really.
Well, no, you just need to go to college and be there for your whole life.
Yeah.
There's high incidence of autism among atheists.
Nah, there's a reason I'm doing computer science, and that's because I want to be a self-made man.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I tried signing up for the army, but they rejected me because of my asthma. So
Why would you sign up for the army?
because I thought I'd wanted to go into officer training because I thought it would be a good thing to do.
You're gonna try to overthrow the government, aren't you?
Nah, I just thought it'd be an interesting thing to do. I thought it'd be an interesting way to learn skills, and the pay's pretty good as well. So I thought, why not?
Well, you can retire when you're 40.
Yeah, the only problem is there's like only one leg left. So
What do you mean? Oh, I don't think you're gonna go to war. Is Britain gonna go to war anytime soon?
I don't know. There's always the chance of being deployed to Afghanistan or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, we're just gonna keep dropping massive bombs on that.
Do my drill sergeant voice.
What you drill sergeant?
Yeah, I can't really.
You have the kindness to give a man a reach around.
like, what is it? Something steers and queers, and you don't look like a steer to me.
Texas, y'all playing comes Texas, steers and queers. You don't look like me.
Jesus, when like your fucking drill sergeant voice sounds really gay. It's like darlings. I bet you could suck a golf. I bet you could suck a golf ball for darling soldier. I bet you could suck a golf ball for a garden hose, babes, or something.
Do you suck dicks? Cause I do. No.
How did we make Sergeant Hartman gay?
Oy vey, Goyim.
God.
You know, I have noticed this. There's a massive purity spiral on the alt-right. Like, you go to a Discord thing, and they just constantly talk about how much they hate Kekistan, hate the classical liberals, and...
They hate Kekistan? What are they doing?
I mean, I don't even know much about it, but, I mean, like, at my church, like, they have, like, things called a community group, which is, you know, just people around your age and in your life situation gather around at people's houses and, like, you know, small groups and, like, talk with the sermon and chill and stuff. And, like, these are, like, the most nicest normie people I've ever met in my life. I'm like, screw Kekistan. I want to be, you know, I want to be a normie here. I want to go back. I want to be blue pill.
Private pal, you piece of shit. Just looking at this, like I was gonna go. I ended up going clubbing on Saturday and Sunday morning, but what I tended
to
to
rave.
What was it a rave? No. Like, but I was going to go to the Easter service, but the thing is that in my village, there's now not enough people left alive to run it. Like, it used to be old people, now there's about half a dozen of them left. It's quite depressing, really. And I used to be the youngest person to ever go because I thought, well, it's free. I got free breakfast out of it, so I thought, why not?
Yeah, and it's part of the community. It's like, well, once everyone's dead, you can sort of just take control of the community and run it as your own little fiefdom.
You know.
Oh, the Muslims are just gonna come in, then, aren't they?
Oh God, please no.
They're coming. Well,
Yeah.
wait, you have well, at least Andrew Chowder's in jail. We still have Linda Sarsour.
Oh God, that
She
fucking
can't
Sarsour girl. Like, I mean, how it's working, guys, like, is that it's kind of interesting to see because all of the white people are moving out of most of the white people are moving out of London and they're ending up in the area around it. So we've got a lot of kind of Cockney types about now, and the fiefdom of Mauritian, yeah, and like they're kind of just living as normal people and they're great and all of that. But it's just testament to how there seems to be like a reverse migration out of the cities almost. It's kind of a weird thing to see.
I mean, I sort of have I know it's sort of sad to see what happened to Detroit, but it is a little beautiful in a way to see sort of
What
nature
happened to
return.
Detroit? The insane clown posse?
No, diversity happened to Detroit and socialism happened to Detroit.
Oh,
Nah,
right.
China happened.
Yeah.
There's happened.
Yeah, hello, Australian friend. Yeah, what happened in Detroit is you have urban farming initiatives now where the people that live in like these empty lots where there used to be lots of houses and crack dens and stuff are now like everything's so dilapidated it's just sort of open fields now, and people are starting to farm there for food. I'm like, great, make your own food, make a living for yourself, just be a farmer. It's sort of nice that so you'll have like rural farmers where they used to sell crack. And then like there's just the tiny little area of downtown is just full of hipsters.
It's almost as if that city has gone through since its founding a kind of cyclical journey civilizationally.
Yeah, I think that's quite accurate actually. Like, London seems to have kind of plateaued, like not population wise, but culturally maybe. I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to describe. Like, people are moving out of the city more than going into it, from what I can tell when they're not immigrating. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Wait, Ben, are you back?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we're going. What were we talking about? I don't know. We could have a conversation on philosophy.
Yay!
Like, I want to learn more about the Enlightenment, the different forms of the Enlightenment, because I think people are way too confused on this. Because I hate it when everyone says, "Well, we just need to have Enlightenment values." Which ones?
Yeah, like, there's so many different
In a way,
philosophers.
I mean, some of them were rather head choppy.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so wait, Hobbes or Rousseau? Yeah, they don't have the same philosophy.
Yeah, they couldn't be further apart. So yeah.
God, imagine if everyone listened to Rousseau. Like, oh, when we mean Enlightenment philosophy, we mean the general will. Like, that'd just end in disaster.
And I love this, right? It's like Rousseau. It's like mankind is naturally good, and like civilization makes people terrible. Even though he like neglected all of his kids, he was like a horrible person. That's like you contrast this with the King and Queen of Prussia at the time, a few decades later, Frederick William III and Queen Louise, who they're supposed to be the embodiment of evil civilization, property people. They had like a lovely lifelong marriage and raised like 9 children in a loving home, despite the fact that their country was at war and that they're royalty. The queen became because she died in her early 30s in 1810. She almost sort of became like a goddess to people. And like she was like absolutely beloved by everybody, and it's like completely the opposite of what Rousseau thinks that royalty is going to be like. So fuck him.
I think that the idea of being there being different separate enlightenments comes from, first of all, not just the fact that these people have various disparate different philosophies in the time period that they're founding, essentially, but there are very different ideas that people have when they think of the word enlightenment. So I think it all depends on what you think enlightenment actually means.
I mean,
I
I'm
think it
referring
means
to
I
sort of-
started paying my power bill again, so they finally turned it back on.
I mean, I think when I think of it, I mean, I'm thinking it's generally the period of, the historical period of philosophy from the 17th to early 19th century.
Yeah.
You're talking
things-
about a time period, but that doesn't really define the word.
Well, how would you define it?
I don't know. I'm a little bit. I've gotten to the point where I'm a little bit cautious about dividing history into different time periods to begin with, because they're usually wrong.
I
Uh,
mean,
I don't
I
really talk much about the Enlightenment versus not the Enlightenment. I think that's like really important to Catholics because they have to if an Enlightenment happened, then the Dark Ages happened, and if the Dark Ages happened, why then Catholicism is in trouble.
The idea,
Catholicism.
So there can't be an Enlightenment from the
I think-
perspective of a Catholic apologist.
Well-
But for Protestants and Latter-day Saints, whether there was an Enlightenment or not is not really that big a deal, you know?
yeah.
I think the idea. I'll let in a second say Claire is that with Catholics it's that because they think that the great the great ill or wrong of history in the West was the Reformation, and that and arguably in a way it did lead to the Enlightenment. But the thing is, like, I don't think all the stuff that came out of the quote unquote Enlightenment was bad. I think the philosophies of people like John Locke or Thomas Hobbes and a number of American founding fathers were benign and fundamentally good for society.
Yeah,
It's just that the ones that came out of
John
the
Locke's
Catholic
political
countries were
theory. I really don't like his epistemology, but his political theory was good.
And I don't think I think it was fundamentally benign.
I think it's
It wasn't like Rousseau or Montesquieu and Voltaire, where it led to a bloody revolution that led to 30 years of war and 5 million people dead.
I mean, it might be because I haven't read them in a long time, but I thought Montesquieu advocated for constitutional monarchy.
I mean, the French Revolution. I'm talking about the French philosophers in general, but this is where you guys come in because I need to research these guys more so I can.
Well, Montesquieu is remembered more as the father of the idea of the Republic, at least the modern idea.
Yeah. Nah, that was George Washington.
Well, to be fair, the United States Constitution is very much borrowed from Rousseau's work.
Well, not just Rousseau.
Well,
Locke
others
was a
as
huge
well. Oh,
influence.
of course, others as well.
Yeah. Oh well,
French
yeah.
philosophy.
The Declaration is practically straight out of Locke.
Absolutely.
Apparently, part of our Constitution is influenced by the Iroquois nation.
I reckon we can just ignore French philosophers because they're French.
To be fair, I think the philosophers may have been the most dangerous people in human history. As far as considering an idea to be causation for events.
I don't know about the most dangerous people in human history, but Russell Kirk has a really devastating critique of those guys in his book on the conservative mind. So that might be worth looking up.
I've come to hate people like Voltaire and Rousseau and the issues that their ideas ultimately caused and were grandfather of. The ideological threads that their ideas were the grandfather of.
I mean, and this is the thing. It's like I hate the idea. I hate the fact that like people don't call it out enough. Like, I mean, it's the same thing as like when people complain, like when people say people don't call out communism nearly enough now, even though like every time it's been tried, it completely failed. I mean, when you had the radical French Enlightenment try, it was a manifest failure, and it took like all the major nations of Europe years, decades to put a stop to it because it was
Yeah,
trying to.
they had to put the monarchy back. That was how.
It's
desperate
because
they got.
it's because the American Republic. I mean, the ideology, the ideas that, was that the Republic, we were not going to imperialize and try and take over the world. If we wanted to spread, the ideas of democracy or the Republic, it was just going to be by setting an example and sort of peacefully encouraging it, not by we're going to have a revolutionary war that, conquers all of Europe.
Depends on which party you ask. I mean, Jefferson kind of wanted to actually help the French.
I mean, the thing is, even the Prussians initially wanted to help the French or were sympathetic to it in the early French Revolution because that was going to benefit them because of France's.
Well, the Federalists,
on it,
the Federalists wanted to stay out, and they pretty much got their way on that.
although
But
we did
the Democratic
give Napoleon $3
Republicans
million.
kind of wanted to side with France.
until I suppose Napoleon. I mean, although Jefferson did end up.
Well,
giving
Jefferson
Napoleon-
being friendly with Napoleon did get us the Louisiana Purchase. So
I mean, the thing is, it could have lost
There was
us all
that.
of America because we gave him a huge amount of. We gave Napoleon a bunch of money.
yeah, I
He
mean,
was very close to
in some
winning the
ways, we
war.
should maybe feel kind of guilty about that. But on the
Oh,
other
especially-
hand,
Also for fighting the British during the biggest turning point of the war once in 1812 when Napoleon was on the path to finally being defeated, although it was the Russians who took him down.
yeah, but on the other hand, the Louisiana Purchase did help our country so much, So it's a weird how that works out. Anyways, but
when it
as
comes
far
to
as like
the-
philosophy goes, when you're approaching philosophy, I think you're more often looking at issues more than time periods,
Hmm.
I
Like,
think the concept. I was going to try to say this earlier, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think the concept of dividing up history into time periods is a little bit fallacious. The Renaissance is a perfect example of this. The idea is that the Renaissance was a revival of Greco-Roman philosophy, and this is absolutely incorrect. The
I
idea,
thought it was a revival of
The idea-
Greco-Roman art and culture.
culture is partially inherited from the philosophy of the people. The idea that, and I'm sorry if you can hear music in the background, but
We're gonna get copyright striked.
the idea that
Damn it.
the idea that the Italian Renaissance was some kind of revival of Greco-Roman ideas and Greco-Roman culture is absolutely fallacious, and it calls into question the idea that the time before was some kind of medieval period or dark age, and that is completely incorrect. I mean, even if you go back to the 9th century, the age of Charlemagne and Alcuin,
Alfred the
not a dark age. You have the beginnings of the European university, at least after the fall of the Roman Empire, the fall of the idea of the academy, which kind of died with the Roman Empire. If you want to talk about a dark age, like 400 to 750, maybe.
400 to 800.
But
maybe.
only somebody who doesn't understand history would say that the age of Charlemagne would be a dark age. And so I think that the idea of the dark age is a little bit fallacious. I think the idea of the Renaissance is a little bit fallacious. And I think the idea of medieval period is a little bit fallacious. So maybe the idea of the Enlightenment is a little bit fallacious as well.
I mean, I think the idea is that. Hold on.
I'm not
is
an
that,
historian, and we have to have some terms to be able to talk about time periods, and just attacking the terms isn't going to work unless you come up with some other terms.
Oh, sure.
Ben,
You can call an
what?
age anything you want. It's important that you don't let the name cause you to have certain presuppositions about the time period.
Hold on, Ben. I think what you just said was like a kid raising his hand in class and saying, "Teacher, I don't know." But anyways, what I was saying is, I think certainly, yeah, the Middle Ages was not the Dark Ages, but I think you can make a case.
I
that there was a
can
Dark Age,
agree with you there. I
but there was
guess.
not a Dark Age between the time of Charlemagne and a Dark Age could have certainly probably did exist between the fall of the Roman Empire and Charlemagne. But I think I sort of put it a bit further ahead because the ideas of quote unquote medieval Europe were established through Charlemagne and Alfred the Great, but a sort of new sort of consensus European order was sort of fully established in the 11th century when you had sort of the major kingdoms and empires that would exist throughout the Middle Ages and the early modern period, like France, like England, like Spain, and like the Holy Roman Empire.
Who's to say that the age of basically the high period of scholasticism couldn't have been some kind of enlightenment?
It's true. I think as the Crusades did recover a large amount of knowledge from the Middle East.
This is all history stuff, and it's really not, my subject. So I'm feeling kind of
Ben,
out of
you're
place
again
here.
saying, Ben, again, this is like you raising your hand and going, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't. I'm thinking maybe I should take off or something because I can't really keep up with all this. I mean, I'm not
That's
disagreeing at all, but it's really not my subject,
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to end this at 11 anyway. 11
Oh,
p.m. for me,
when's
so
that?
about like 45 minutes.
Really, it's 4 o'clock here.
Yeah, because
It's only 20 past 12.
Hey,
Yeah, but you don't understand. Fritz and I are on the standard time.
you live in Ohio. You're not. Even
are you
real,
sure?
You're not even
I'm
real
on the
human being.
Greenwich mean. The one that matters.
Look, I respect a lot of things about you, St. Clair, but being from Ohio just sort of canceled all of that out.
You and I are going to have a conversation when this stream is over about what you could ever possibly respect me for.
Well,
I'm from Ohio.
yeah.
I think you're a fairly intelligent person, man.
Well,
but
one thing.
but
Oh,
not
sorry.
being from Ohio.
Well, if we're just talking about silliness, I'm wondering, can anyone think of what would be the best strategy to troll Shia LaBeouf's new art installation?
Spam it with stuff from his previous work, like Even Stevens.
Just leave the flag they nicked. Like, no, wait, we've got to find his cabin in Finland. They've got to take the flag. We've got to get some duct tape and stick it to the window.
What?
Right, so when he
Just
wakes
play
up,
a loop of him going,
What do
no,
you
no,
mean?
no, 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 no.
You mean the flag
Optimus!
from season 3?
Oh, dude, just stuff from Even Stevens and his like really early work.
Do you guys mean the flag from season 3 that was taken?
yeah, just like glue that to his window. So
Give
like
it
during
back
the
to
night.
him.
So when he wakes up,
I-
stretches, looks out of the window, he sees the flag rather than like this pristine, like Finnish wilderness.
No, I have a better idea. Somebody needs to get a plane, fly low overhead, and just play Chatelet. No, get a drone playing Chatelet.
That's already been done, I think.
I saw a
Oh,
really
no,
funny
massive
video
drone.
where this guy dressed as Pepe tries to sneak into the cabin, but he got busted.
Aww. So
Then
where
there's
is-
another video where somebody taped a MAGA hat onto the screen so that it looks like Shia is wearing it.
I saw that.
Wait,
And he
is Shia actually in that cabin?
No, a TV with a live stream of him is.
Wait, so where is he then?
He is secluded in a cabin in the Finnish countryside, and his other 2 Hollywood overprivileged douchebag friends are in 2 other cabins in the Finnish countryside that are apparently not communicating with each other except through the exhibit.
And so,
Blimey.
where is the street? Where is the feed coming in? Or what is being seen if you go to this feed?
Hang on. Gotta find the name of the museum real quick here.
I'm sorry, Shia,
It's
but
the
there
It's in
are.
Helsinki, I know that much.
Wow, when I Google his hashtag Alone Together, I get a song by Fallout Boy. Apparently, he doesn't get as many Google hits as Fallout Boy. It's not even a new song either.
I tell you what, just an arsehole, replacing paracetamol with arsenic would get rid of many pains. Just maybe not in the intended way.
Okay, he's
I
in the
love-
Miasma Museum.
In Finland.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
there's
what I don't
people-
understand is
you know-
how
you
is
know
this
funny
even a
is Finland
protest?
uses in Finland, right? I mean, this is a sign of defeat, though. He's been forced to be in a little cabin in the woods as opposed to being in New York City. But there's 4chan users in Finland, you idiot.
Yeah, but will they go hiking through the wilderness?
I think he
Yes.
was surprised to learn that there was a population in Finland.
I think no. This is the thing: is that look, Mercurial, they managed to track down his location in Tennessee using using his star charts and the locations of airplanes. In Liverpool, they managed to get ninjas on the roof. Yeah, they can get people to walk the finish line.
He's not joking.
This is what happens.
Look it up.
4chan
There's actual freaking ninjas.
4chan is an idea of what would happen if you gave actual autistic people power.
Oh man. This is the best reality TV show I've ever seen.
I can't even watch actual TV anymore because reality is actually now more interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
Isn't it wonderful?
it has to be something really incredible like Westworld to get me to watch now.
Not The Big Bang Theory.
I haven't watched
I never
TV.
watched that.
It's all. I used to love it before I had a brain.
I like watching.
Awful.
Bloody hell!
It's terrible.
I feel bad for you.
I know. It's just like, bleh. It's like
I feel bad for you. Bazinga, like that's the only thing to the show. It's like what you do. It's like people pretending to. It's like it's like intelligent people written by stupid people. Really, isn't it?
Isn't like I guess the Big Bang Theory is basically like the IT crowd except not smart
and not funny.
You try and switch it off and
and
on
not
again.
funny. So it's like the IT crowd without the intelligence or the humor.
Don't open the red door, Jen.
Yeah. I mean, now the IT crowd wasn't all brilliant, but it had really
Soul.
brilliant moments in it.
And it actually had a person. They felt, Moss and the Irish guy felt. Chris O'Dowd character felt actually like they felt like actual nerds, whereas like the Big Bang Theory is sort of the epitome. This encapsulates sort of everything that's wrong with culture, where you're taking stuff that nerds loved and geeks actually loved, and just said, now this is all pop culture now, and everyone likes it. It's all mainstream. There's no identity to it anymore. And it's like
Yeah.
it's sort of like saying that if you're a nerd or a geek, that means you have to like Star Trek, you have to like Marvel's The Avengers, you have to like every sort of aspect of pop culture. And that's never really been sort of what it's about. It's about sort of liking one or two sort of like topics or genres really intently that not a lot of other people like.
Yeah, nerd culture going mainstream has been just the weirdest thing, But then it
Goodness,
makes
anime,
sense. I mean, I'm
yeah.
glad we're having some of the Hollywood's biggest movies being made with the biggest budgets ever being comic book movies. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome. And I mean, we got Peter Jackson's films, I mean, wow. I mean, that's amazing.
Still love
that kind of stuff got made. But on the other hand, yeah, we get things that are fake, like all these hipster chicks from San Francisco being all like, "Oh, I can write a choose your own adventure book. Now I'm officially a game developer and should be profiled in magazines about games."
And if you don't like me, then you're a sexist and gamers are over.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
sold 5 copies.
that's been a side effect of. See, they wouldn't be doing that if nerd culture hadn't gone so mainstream.
I will say this: if they thought Gamergate was terrifying,
They have
Anime
no
Gate-
idea what is coming.
Anime Gate will be Anime Gate.
Anime Gate, oh God.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that either. As somebody who enjoys anime, I don't want it to become mainstream.
No, neither do I. I don't think it's going to, but like I don't know. The Ghost in the Shell movie seems to be trying to do that, but like
It does. It did get a pretty good chunk of change in the box
Well,
office.
hang on though. Anime is mainstream in Japan.
Well, this isn't Japan.
yeah,
Well,
this
that's
is
what I'm saying. I mean, anime is really insulated against feminist infiltration just by a language barrier.
and the fact that the Japanese are just
Patriarchal.
don't give a fuck.
The Japanese would be like, the Japanese wouldn't understand feminism anyway. You know, I mean, they can't get any of the, like, when they try to make like Western cultural references in anime, they make like Crystal Dragon Jesus mistakes. I mean, they're not going to get the feminist message.
Yeah, I remember
correct.
there was a mainstream anime that tried to put in a kind of Black American character, and it was just the most
Oh,
stereotypical
come on.
Black American that you can think of. I think it was Naruto that tried that,
I don't
and it was
remember.
just like a stereotypical rapper kind of character.
Yo,
Oh,
motherfucker, I'm a ninja.
B.
I'm a ninja and shit.
B. I remember B. Yeah, I thought that he was just a wacky character. I didn't think that he like somehow represented like all black people or whatever. So I wasn't really I mean,
That's
You didn't
how
get that vibe?
feminism
he
works.
came. I guess I remember they showed like he came from like a village with other people, and I think a lot of the people from his village were black. And
Yeah.
and he was the weird one where they were all like normal, and that's why I guess I never really thought of him as representative like that.
Well, to be fair, he is. I don't know. This is supposed to be like a Chinese kind of feudal culture, and he's portrayed as a kind of modern sort of American black character.
Well, yeah, Naruto kind of happens without like a date on it, because like they don't have automobiles, but they do seem to have some aspects of modern technology, and it's never like made consistent. You know, there's never like a date put on anything.
I think
Sort of
that's
like that show Gotham, where they have cell phones, but they don't have computers.
Yeah, or kind of like Fallout.
Well, Fall is the specific is alternate history where things specifically changed at a certain date. In like I think like Todd Howard said like 1960 the culture the American culture circa 1960 sort of of the 1950s stuck, and it's atom punk, sort of like how steampunk is modern inventions like computers and stuff, but using steam power technology we would have in the 1800s. Atom punk would be like everything is like nuclear powered. Like that's why all the cars are nuclear powered.
There's a kind of I think there is a kind of since the 1980s, especially a kind of robot punk, kind of
Well, that's cyberpunk, I think.
cyberpunk. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's stuff like The Matrix and Ghost in the Shell and stuff like that.
And like Terminator.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to disappoint you, Justin Arsel, but I'm not going to fight you. You are correct. Naruto is not very good.
Yeah, One Piece is a million times better.
Well, about Naruto, it's
I
sort
mean,
of like
One Piece. Hold on,
me.
Hold on, Ben.
Oh,
I mean, just one thing is, yeah, One Piece is sort of the same exact thing, where it's like it starts out and it feels like it's just like sort of random, 18th century pirate times with, cannons and like muskets and swords, but then like there'll be like robots and like shopping malls at the same time.
Yeah, anime has a tendency.
I was going to say something, remember, and I got stopped because he wanted to say that. So can I have a turn for real quick? I was going to address Naruto. For me, the question isn't so much whether Naruto is good or not. Because, I mean, you're like, is Mickey Mouse good? Well, no. But on the other hand,
Mouse Club, watch your mouth.
But on the other hand, it it's sort of gone on for so long that it's kind of become like
a staple.
It's like
Yeah.
Garfield. It's like Garfield.
yeah,
Yeah, it is like Garfield.
yeah. He's orange and he eats a lot of food.
Although I will fight to the death to argue that the Peanuts is actually good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Peanuts actually is good. Yeah,
Somebody asked, "Where is Dean Esme?" I don't know. I'm not Catholic, so he doesn't like me now.
finding more people to say they're Satanists. I don't know.
There's-
Finding more non-atheists to diss.
Did anyone
Yeah.
say what a Satanist
I'm
or something?
disappointed. Has anyone here
Sorry,
watched
what-
the Big Les show?
What?
No, so
Has anybody here watched the Big Les show?
No.
is that about lesbians?
I'll post it. I'll post it in the stream chat. But it's so funny.
What was
It's
that,
like-
Paul?
It's like it's got the scene right where
Did he
they
call
just
someone a Satanist?
No,
no.
he essentially Dean Esme thinks that everyone who isn't like a strict Catholic like he is just evil.
Well, he's
Well, yeah,
basically
I
just
mean-
the amazing
I mean,
atheist.
either
of the
you're
religion,
an
isn't he?
atheist,
Strikes me as
or you're a Satanist, or you're a Catholic like him.
He
Those are like the
strikes me
only
as a
three
kind of-
categories.
sorry, he strikes me as a kind of new Christian.
Yeah, he's part of New Catholicism.
Nah, he just strikes me as a bit of an idiot.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
that's all-
well, to be fair, the new atheists were idiots, and he strikes me as the Christian version of the hip, fresh new atheist movement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reckoning his IQ is probably in the
Catholic.
high 80s. I reckon that like TJ's more
Probably
intelligent.
don't watch the stream because he still stalks
I don't
me.
put
so-
IQs on people.
Mm,
Yeah, I
Eugenics is the future, man. Human biodiversity, erase realism. I think we could get the stream taken off the air.
you know, Dean Esme is one of those people who has really quite small channels, but has a huge footprint for what he has.
Yes,
He's
yes.
like Millennial Woes. Like loads of people have heard of Millennial Woes, but he's only got 20,000 subscribers.
Yeah, and it's like Dark
Yeah.
Matter 2525. No one really talks about him, but he has like 500,000
huge.
subscribers.
Yeah, I know. Like I never watched him until like the other day, and I was like, this
His
channel's
animation's
huge.
terrible. It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's not that good. It's just like
Yeah, it's quite similar to oh, what's that guy's name? Steve Shives. His subscriber count is only in the tens of thousands. Last time I checked,
Isn't it dropping?
and yet
more?
just about everybody's heard of him.
It's because he blocked everybody. It's because his actions have, affect everyone on Twitter now,
Yes,
except me because
there
I'm
are-
not blocked by him.
there are things that you can do to leave an impression on a far greater amount of people than is your core fan base.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll be right back. See you guys.
What were we talking about before?
Yeah.
Animes. But since there's only 3/5 of this chat are weebs, what were you? Oh yeah, Paul said Stanists. How was your Easter, Paul?
Hmm?
How was it, the Aussie?
Sorry, I was stuck on mute. Yeah, my Easter was good. My Easter was good. I've got a mate coming over and we're watching the footy for Easter Monday.
Right, nice. The sermon at my church was pretty good. Cool. The sermon was on why does God allow suffering. It's pretty good. But before then, we sang a bunch of songs about Easter. So much better. It's sort of like contemporary Christian songs, which is a lot better than my old church, where it's like really, really sort of not very sort of soulful, happy sort of old Protestant hymns. I like this one better, even though the hymns are more modern. They actually feel a little more realistic. They feel more authentic.
I may not go to church anymore, but I still have a soft spot in my heart for the
Catholicism.
the Catholic music that they play during Mass is absolutely breathtaking, particularly the choirs. And sometimes I miss that. And choir music is still some of my favorite music.
What about
I mean-
liturgy?
What?
Liturgy.
Not 100% sure what liturgy means.
Sort of
Okay.
the way the worship service is structured. So like prayer,
At
like
this point, everybody says X, and this point, everybody says Y.
Well,
sort
the
of thing.
general structure is opening prayers, first reading, Then there's a second reading. Then there's a homily, and then there's communion, and then closing statements. Not closing statements, but usually the closing statements are usually announcements.
My church though it's just hymns, prayers, sermon, prayers, collection plates, a bucket,
Right.
more songs than everyone.
Right. There's that as well. The collection plate.
Well, what I find is really interesting is it's called the Anglican Church in North America, which they're a breakaway. In 2009 they formed as a breakaway version of the Episcopal Church when when it was very clear that they could not be reformed because they were completely and totally taken over by progressives. And essentially, the best way to describe them is how a lot of people describe Anglicanism, which is it looks Catholic but it sounds Protestant. So you'll see the lay it'll be there's a big video of the investiture of the Archbishop of the Anglican, and they got about 120,000 people in 1,000 churches, and they're growing. But he'll be dressed in bishop's robes, and you'll have all these priests and bishops from with the crooks and the staves and everything like that. But he'll be singing modern worship music, and the Archbishop right now is a Southerner by a guy by the name of Foley Beach. So it's weird seeing a guy in the collar or wearing the pontiff hat and robes, but saying sort of a Protestant, a typical sort of Baptist sermon. And you talk about his wife and stuff like that. It's very interesting.
See, that's not alien to me. It's just Anglican.
That is a little bit alien to me because the pastors in my church would never talk about their personal lives. What was most important in our church were the readings and actually getting involved in the story that was being told.
Well, I mean, the way that my pastor does it at my church is he, it'll be it's sort of a typical way you tell a story of, you open it up sort of with a personal thing in your life, and then you expand it to the biblical story, and then sort of the sermon goes to sort of main point of this aspect of Christianity.
Right, the homily, I think that's called.
Mm-hmm.
I loved our pastor, Father King's homilies, because he would do it in a similar way to how university instructors do philosophy lectures, and he had actually had he had actually had university level education, and he actually started my he actually kickstarted. I knew him personally. He was a friend of mine, and we talked sometimes. And he's the one who ignited my original fascination with history. It was actually, ironically, or perhaps not ironically, depending on your point of view, it was the Old Testament that ignited my fascination with human history.
I mean, the pastor we have now, he's good. He's good. He's a good pastor, but he's not the pastor that used to be at the church. I didn't go there until he left. He left in September, when he'd been doing it for 14 years, and he helped sort of organize the church into sort of what it does now, that got it to be able to grow so quickly. Because back in 2004, it had a membership of about 450 people. Now it's over 2,000, and we're planting churches every few years. But Pastor David Whiting was his name, and his sermons are very, very, honest, authentic, and he, very intelligent. You probably like them, because he just lays it all out very methodically.
It just struck me that I have not been to a church service or mass in over 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should attend again.
Do it.
You said it like Emperor Palpatine. Do it.
I know. Yeah, that was the point. But yeah.
Oh, there were. Which one of you
join me, and I would complete your training.
Yeah, which one of you sent the meme of Palpatine talking to Anakin? I think it was one of you guys.
George Lucas did that.
No, it's not any of us who sent the meme. I don't think.
Oh, it was one of you retweeted it. I think.
Yeah, you sent it to us. I retweeted it. I think.
I still love the political compass of that. Are you threatening me, Master Jedi? Libertarian.
Oh, yeah,
left?
I am the
Am I being
Senate.
arrested? No, am I being arrested?
am the Senate.
That's authoritarian left. That's libertarian left.
Yeah, autistic preaching.
I
Here,
really love the old medieval hymns, the old medieval tapestry memes, though.
Oh God.
Be gone with me.
Yeah.
here, do you guys see this?
What are you putting on my stream?
I know.
Oh, I can't see it now.
Have you heard the liturgy of Saint John
Chrysostom.
I was worried about how to pronounce that. No, I thought not. It's not a service the Protestants would teach you. Is it possible to learn this service? Not from a Baptist. Love it.
That's funny.
It was my friend Seneca who posted that. He's actually in the chat. Hi,
Is he
Seneca.
Christian or is he? What is he?
He's kind of a non-believing Christian.
Okay, so a coward.
Basically, he's an agnostic Christian. Is the way that I would describe him.
Mathoma, I have heard of Aquinas. I'm a Protestant. Checkmate.
He's not a skeptic. He's a doubter.
Wait, what's Mathoma?
Mathoma is really interesting. I think he is a Christian, but he's also a Platonist. So I think he comes to the conclusion of Christianity from his Platonism, and I find him very fascinating. He makes videos about mathematics.
Oh no, I forgot. I made Scotch McKenna a moderator for some reason. I think he.
Yeah.
I love Scotch. He's awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Mathoma actually because I was watching through his maths videos and it's really helped me with some of the computer graphics I've been studying at the moment. So yeah,
Mathoma, I'm going to make you a moderator.
I would actually not mind talking to him because I like Mathoma. It's kind of
Yeah, he's
interesting.
great.
There's kind of a new community kind of being formed. Like it's not part of this so-called greater skeptic community, but it's kind of everybody in this chat room knows that they're not using the word skeptic properly to begin with.
Mm.
And even if they were using it as in the modern sense as a synonym for the word doubt, they still would not be using it properly in its philosophical sense.
I think Sargon pointed out it's just sort of a placeholder.
It's like rationalists, isn't it? It's like they use that incorrectly as well.
Yeah, I think Naked Ape
Someday.
did a good video about that. I did a video about that a couple of weeks ago.
Intersectional skepticism.
Intersectional skepticism. I like that.
I defeated his argument.
There
with
seems
skepticism.
defeating an argument with skepticism would be like, I don't think that's true, and I don't know what's true.
Yeah.
I defeated your argument. You can't prove that's true to
Look,
me.
look. You say that's true, but you need to provide evidence. Okay, here's evidence. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
believe in your
that's
evidence.
empirical evidence, and it doesn't count.
No, that evidence doesn't fit with my conclusion, so I have to reject it.
Of
That's
course,
not-
there is
that's
no
not-
evidence once you have discounted all the evidence.
I think we're trolling in two different ways.
Actually, I'm curious. It's like I think I'm sort of on the same wavelength here. It's like
Skepticism is kind of like epistemological nihilism.
there's a new community forming. I think what you're thinking of, it's not just the traditionalists though either. It's people like Mathoma, you, and a few other people, right?
Well,
like
what is
Mark Wayne and
It's kind of, I'd say it was kind of a stop, like kind of a halfway house between the alt right and the skeptics. I would say. Perhaps more
classical
educated than both.
liberals.
Maybe. So I mean, I don't. Maybe can I call myself a conservative? Maybe I can. It depends.
No, you have to call yourself a conservative.
Did you vote for Jeb Bush?
Would I vote for Jeb Bush? It depends on what his policies are.
Basically, Hillary Clinton's policies.
George W. Bush's policies, except his name is Jeb now.
How about John Kasich?
John Kasich. There was a time when I thought when I would have voted for John Kasich. If it came down to Hillary and Kasich, I would have voted for Kasich.
Look, I'm the only one who's beating her on all the polls. I love how at the end of his campaign, everyone would just spam like pictures of like how he would like keep like there's so many pictures of him just eating food at like diners across the country, and somebody just came up with the conspiracy theory that he's just doing this so that he just figured out, wait a minute, I can just go across the country, get all the free food I want in diners with all the money I raise. I'll just use running for president as a cover.
Would I vote for Ron Paul? Yes, Scotch, I would vote for
Absolutely.
Ron Paul. I love Ron
Paul.
Mm.
Ron Paul was
Well, I guess if Ron Paul had a shot and he was running against Hillary Clinton, I'd definitely vote for him.
Ron
probably
Paul,
seems
I
way
think if
more.
Ron Paul ran as Democrat, he would win. He would win the election.
He wouldn't run as a Democrat.
I know.
He
though.
did
Running as a Republican,
in
I think
2008.
screwed him over because he doesn't fit the standard definition of a
He should have ran
conservative.
as a Democrat in 2012 and ruined the Democratic Party.
Well, he's an actual liberal. That's why.
Well, he's an old, yeah. I mean,
He's an old.
the thing
he's
is
a-
that he
well,
at least made
what people term as classical liberal, that would probably be him.
yeah, I mean, he at least made the smart decision of not running as a libertarian in 2008 and 12, because at least you had a shot if you ran as a Republican. And he sort of made the argument that I want to go back to the actual ideals of the Republican Party.
That's fair. That's fair enough. I have respect for that.
So abolishing slavery and
Lower taxes,
preserving the
getting us
union.
out of foreign wars, and ending the Fed. The Democrats. It wasn't Republicans that got us into the world, into the major wars, and get us into the Federal Reserve. It's the Democrats that do that.
Well, I hear a lot of bitching about the Federal Reserve, but I don't ever hear an alternative plan from these people. The closest thing I've heard to an
Socialism!
alternative what?
Free market.
Socialism.
No government.
The closest thing I've heard to an alternative plan is we will all have money from Bitcoin.
I've actually heard. I've actually heard people argue that as a legitimate case.
Doesn't he want to go back to the gold standard?
Yes,
No.
How would that work?
it wouldn't.
I mean, how? I'm just like, let's not even think about like why or even whether it's a good idea. Just explain how it's going to happen.
Let's go further back. Let's go back to a food-backed currency. Let's go way back.
Hold on, Pius. We reestablished monarchy by covert means. So shush. We don't talk about it right now.
Mark Vickens is the right.
All right. How about Jill Stein versus Gary Johnson?
Reestablish monarchy because we
Jill
was
Stein.
kangs.
Jill Stein versus Gary Johnson. That's tough. I think I lean slightly more towards Stein, but begrudgingly.
I'd feel the Johnson immediately.
I mean, who would be the least destructive? Who's the least destructive?
I find the fact that you
essentially,
didn't know
who
what
would be
Aleppo
rated
was
by
very alarming.
who could be reined in by the bureaucrats and the elites the most easily?
Probably
so that they don't
Johnson.
do it. Yeah.
What? I don't
Probably
think. What was the question?
All right. Thing is, like, both of them are crazy and terrible and awful candidates. But like, if you had to choose, who do you think would be the one who would be most easily sort of reined in and controlled by the elites and Congress, so that they couldn't do anything?
Who would be?
Who's
The most-
who is the least unhinged, and who would be the most submissive?
I think Stein.
Really?
I think Stein is less crazy than Johnson.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but
Stein.
I think Johnson is a bit of a wet noodle myself from what I've seen. I think
Maybe.
And that was
Stein
David Cameron.
put a foot down. I think.
Yeah, that is true. Johnson seems very afraid to offend anybody.
The thing is, like there's a video of like somebody says don't use the term illegal because that offends a lot of people.
I remember
And somebody
that.
goes, yeah, aren't they crossing illegally? And then just Johnson goes flips out and goes, they came here because they couldn't get in legally. We would do the same thing.
What?
Well, he's got a point there.
But he doesn't know what Aleppo is, and Jill Stein thinks that Wi-Fi causes autism.
It's the radio. It's the radio wave.
Thing is, like, I think probably would. I think I would actually agree with Jill Stein on an issue or two because she's against. I think she's against like centralized education systems, and
Yeah.
I'm pro environment on a few issues. Yeah, this is the difficult thing, right? It's like I do think that we are overpopulated. I just think that the vast majority of the measures that we aimed at reducing that are way too totalitarian and terrifying. To
You
be
know.
implemented. The only thing I could consider that would be responsible and not lead to a eugenicists, 1984 totalitarian world order would just be sort of encouraging family planning and, abstinence education and say, how about instead of having 5 kids, have 2 or 3?
Yeah, I've reached the point where I'm completely cynical about, and I know you don't like that word, but I'm completely cynical about using changes in government as a way of achieving legitimate change. Because, look, if you want to change from like a republic to a constitutional monarchy or the other way about, I won't complain too much, but I'm afraid of having too much of a libertarian government because it puts power in the hands of a lot of people, and I don't trust people. But then you go into the opposite direction where you have too much power in the hands of one person, and I don't want to do that because I don't trust people. So there's no there's no real governmental solution.
This is why I think a good way around this would be decentralization. Is like don't necessarily decrease the total amount of power government has. Just put it in. Just give it more into local hands.
We make the ability to kill you more localized.
Hey, why not just go sod that and just write a computer to do it for you? Why not just write an algorithm?
No, so
Turn
basically,
the frogs gay.
John Henry Eden.
Yeah, basically.
Hello, my fellow Americans. When I was a boy growing up in rural Kentucky, gotcha, it's me, 3 Dog.
3 Dog. Ow!
Galaxy News Red. I want to replace. I want him and Mr. New Vegas to switch spots. So it's like Mr. New Vegas comments on the nuking and Mega Cadet going, "Oh, howdy, folks. It seems that the biggest cities in the wasteland's been nuked. Well, it just happened. So now let's play one of my favorite songs."
I also like that the songs in Fallout 3 are kind of benign, but at the same time, they're thematic enough to be ironic in a terrible way.
I do love the Butcher Pete song.
Oh, I love that song.
That's exactly the one that struck me immediately. Though.
I like that song, but that's just because I like.
I like how in Fallout 4 they can, because they have like the second
side.
The second half of that song.
Yes,
well, I have to get back to Fallout 4 just because it is a fun post-apocalyptic walking shooting simulator.
Yeah,
it's not a good role-playing game.
No.
But if it's not trying to be a role-playing game, then it's fine.
I don't like the fact that it's not trying to be. I don't like the fact that it's not trying to be a role-playing game because that's what Fallout was supposed to be. Like Fallout New Vegas was an amazing game.
It wasn't. It felt so much like an actual role-playing game.
Right. Fallout 4
Trump will be the
even
king.
Fallout 3 aren't that. I mean, H Bomber Guy actually did a terrific video on Fallout 3.
Yeah.
He's not correct. He's not correct about everything in that video, but he's correct about enough for me to nod a few times. Like, yeah, that this fucking bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just give him a chance and watch that video.
I've seen it before. I thought it was a good video too. And like I didn't actually think it was going to go there at the end. But like so before I finished, I was initially going to go make a comment. I was literally going to make a comment in the on there going, well, at least they fixed all this in New Vegas. But then he read my mind and basically pointed out that all these problems they fixed in New Vegas. The story and the gameplay were the
issue about H Bomber Guy is that he's a reasonably intelligent person with an education, but his personality fucks him over in the minds of many people.
He's such a cunt. I swear, like, I think the second video I ever released was actually responding to him on something, and he just I mean, he's obviously an intelligent bloke. He obviously has like given some thought to it, but he just exudes cunt.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
similar. He's similar in that regard to Naked Ape. Naked Ape is one of the more intelligent people, one of the most intelligent people I've ever had the pleasure of speaking with.
Oh yeah,
Especially with regards to economics, but his personality is absolutely. I
actually, I will say
I
about
don't mind him.
he's
I
an
don't either.
asshole. I
No,
hate
this
it.
is the thing is, actually, I
Yeah,
don't.
but isn't he playing up the asshole factor to,
He's
you know?
is,
the only
and
person.
that's-
He's
and
the
I
only
don't
person.
He
He's the only person that I know that he'll be condescending, but you don't feel bad when he's condescending. Like when I have my stream with him, he'll be like, I'll be, I said like, I'm sorry for interrupting. He's like, don't apologize, you piece of shit. I'm like, oh, thank you. Like it felt good when he said it.
He actually decided to go into a stream with me to tell me I was being condescending towards conservatives at one point.
Oh,
Actually, the first time I actually
It was a semantic argument.
I got into a crowd stream right after it ended and crowd had left. So I was just like talking with a bunch of people that were still there. The weirdo, sorry, chat, but the 99% of the people on YouTube are just fucking weirdos, sycophants, and y'all need to kill yourselves. But no, I'm kidding. Maybe.
Deathstrike says maybe Naked Ape has weaponized autism. I fear what that weapon would do in the wrong hands.
God.
In the head. We must prevent them from acquiring weapons of mass autism.
Bernie Sanders, free
Bernie-
college. That is
You actually know the voice as well.
Oh,
yeah.
that is gold.
Look, yeah, I mean, thank you.
Look, I'm sorry, amazing autist, but that's not where bananas go.
What did you say?
I said, I'm sorry, amazing atheist, that's not where bananas go.
It's not where bananas go.
That's
I mean-
not where oil goes either.
When he,
I'll tell you what though, like to change the subject slightly, a person at the opposite end of the spectrum from that, someone I think is really intelligent but is also really, really humble, is Millennial Woes, and I can't believe I'm saying that.
I like
will
listening to Millennial Woes. I
Except for
like
if
the
they
fact
use
that there's a reasonably intelligent, decent head on his shoulders guy who can, or at least as best as you can, as best as they can.
At least,
And
at least
who
until
talks about that particular philosophy. Him and Culture Thug, I think.
I like
Until-
Culture Thug. I actually, I'll tell you who I really like, Marshall Ironsides.
I don't know who that is.
He's one of Culture Thug's kind of like one of the smaller channels. Like he's anti-freedom of speech, but listening to him is just it's an experience. It's like if you had to make a movie about 1980. He's playing Wolfenstein.
That's the alert for a new email on my phone.
Wait, what's the guy's name? What's the guy's name?
Marshall Ironsides. He's just got that voice. If you were making a movie on 1984 in a fascist world or something, you would have him echoing through the radio. It's like an experience listening to that guy.
Speaking of which, I since new people entered the chat, like I think I want to move to like start doing some gaming videos, and I think I want to do like commentary videos over like certain games. Like I think it would be an excellent video to do would be like a comparison of BioShock Infinite and Dishonored, because I think because I'm playing through Dishonored for the first time. Well, I played a little bit of it a couple of years ago, but I'm actually going to play through it proper now and then go back and play it again to record it. And I love the atmosphere of that game. I love like seeing how like they developed like this whole sort of culture and society that's completely fictional, and like everything is sort of like power. It's like whale oil steampunk, and it's unrealistic, but I think it's an excellent atmosphere for a game, and like it's a similar atmosphere and does a lot of similar things to BioShock Infinite. I think it'd be cool to compare the two. Fritz do a playthrough of EU4 as Brandenburg. I will, son. I will.
Yeah, we need to do that. Like, I'll play England again and not get invaded by Ireland because I won't be very drunk with anyone.
Play Dark Souls. I'll play Dark Souls.
I would like to play Crusader Kings with one of you guys, but Fritz doesn't like Crusader Kings.
Oh, what's wrong with you, Fritz?
I don't care about family.
Hey, I don't like it either.
He doesn't like Machiavelli Simulator.
That's basically just Paradox games.
Yeah, that's
Well,
basically.
See, I would have thought.
Are you
I would have thought
talking
he'd
about Donald Trump
arrange
real
marriage
estate
strong,
tycoon?
intelligent women.
No.
What did you say, Paul?
I would have thought that I would have thought that he would have loved to arrange marriages with strong, genius German women.
No. I was
Doesn't-
married. No, I remember in a game I played as like a little as called Carnatia or something, Carpathia. So like in like Tyrolia, I had a little dukedom there. I married. My duke ended up having to marry an Ethiopian princess.
Are any of you guys are any of you guys excited about Middle Earth: Shadow of War?
I
heard about
will
that.
probably buy it.
It's
I'm
a
waiting-
simulator.
I'm waiting for Nier Automata to come out on Steam sale during the summer because that game looked awesome.
I'm excited about the StarCraft remaster, as long as they keep custom hotkeys in it.
Vicky 2. I've never played Victoria 2. I've not heard
It's
good,
fantastic.
not heard good.
Victoria one's best.
Absolute
That was-
fantastic game. Best
I'm sorry,
Paradox
but-
game I played.
I like that time period, and I like that period in history. I absolutely love it. It's why it's part of the reason I like Black Butler, and I know Fritz doesn't like Black Butler because it's too faggoty. But I love that period in history.
An episode of that, so I can't make a statement on it.
You will not like it because it's faggoty. It's meant to be faggoty and Victorian.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I want to play Nier Automata because it seems like okay. So this is bullet hell. This is a shooter, like dark, but it's like Dark Souls in a world of robots. Yes. I love Dark Souls. I'm sorry, but I do.
So I'm curious, Mauritian, if you're not Christian.
No, I'm not.
I'm
Not
surprised.
yet.
I'm surprised to hear that.
Yeah, I'm just straight deist pretty much at this point.
Understandable.
I'm not sure. I need to find something really.
Well, I have a new video where I talk about all the alternatives to Christianity, including deism, and I basically say that deism is where you would stop if you aren't, if you want to try to rely on the natural reason alone and common premises. But, and then if you wanted to go beyond that and sort of have a little faith, then I talk about a lot of the other options
Yeah.
and why out of those I think Christianity is the best option.
I like that there's a lot of religious and ideological diversity. Maybe not so much ideological, but religious diversity in this panel. We have Ben, who is a Mormon, correct?
Not technically, but I'm a Latter-day Saint, which is close to that.
Okay, I'm sorry. We have Fritz, you're a Protestant. It doesn't matter which one; they're pretty much the same.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm the correct one. I'm a Baptist.
Yeah. Mauritian is a deist. I'm not sure what Paul is, and I'm an atheist. So I like that.
Paul's an atheist.
I don't think Protestants are all the same. I think that the Calvinist God and the Armenian God are two completely different gods.
Yeah, I think Calvinists, I think Reformed Christianity and the kind of Lutheran kind of Christianity are there's enough differences to warrant conversation.
And the Anglicans as well. It's like the big
Catholicism light.
Yeah, we're reformed and Catholic, baby.
Actually,
Protestants.
you know what the Anglican Church is? It's agnosticism that calls itself Christianity.
Hmm.
That's what
I mean,
Uh,
I remember
there's
someone
some-
saying, I think it might have been you, Fritz, actually, who said that Sargon of Akkad is the most Anglican man you've ever seen.
That's the distributist. He's basically says, yeah, there's no one more Anglican than Sargon of Akkad.
Do not get Fritz mixed up with the distributist again. I will bitch slap.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm nowhere near. But
I
Distributing-
think-
our Anabaptist friend Todd Lewis did come up with Todd Lewis's law, which is any idea that the distributists did not come up with first is not worth mentioning.
I really like Todd Lewis, actually. I was atheist before I met that guy.
I don't know enough about him. I know he made
Todd's a
some.
good bloke.
He and I have talked a little bit. He seems like a nice
He's all
guy,
right,
but
though.
he made some videos called "Why Atheists Poison Everything," and
Yeah, I was part of that.
the title turned me off.
The guy is very well educated, I'll give him that.
Yeah,
But like the
Todd
way he
Lewis?
argues-
Are we talking about Todd Lewis now?
the way he argues is just to throw. He doesn't really seem to care much about He doesn't really seem to care about much of anything outside of just throwing as many facts at you as possible. Because when on my stream with him about Prussia and World War One, is that like I thought I had no idea it was as bad as he laid it out. Like he laid out all these sort of interchanges and discourse between like French and Russian ministers, where they explicitly lay out that our entire plan is we want to destroy Germany. Like, so
Todd has a tendency to make these huge jumps in between different subjects to make his case.
he
Where
absolutely
I
has
don't
a-
think he's like, I can't dispute any one of his facts, but some of the connections between some of the ideas don't seem to quite work.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that it took me about. I was talking to him offline for about 4.5 hours, and it took me about a good hour and a half to actually get what he was getting at regarding. I think it was body mind duality or something, and he was trying to argue that, and it just wasn't really making any sense until he actually narrowed it down to like one sentence at the end. It's like, oh, okay, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been talking to him about that as well, and I actually went and took a course in philosophy of mind because I'd been meaning to for a while, and I actually went and took the actually got through the course because I had to be able to answer Todd Lewis.
Well, I will say this. Speaking, if we could just finish up the thing on Paradox, because on the gaming website I write for, I actually had to write an article titled the top 10 best Paradox games, and the guy gave me the list. These are not my own opinions, but and it's games either developed or published by Paradox. Apparently, the best one is Hearts of Iron 4. Fuck no. The Delaware Empire
everybody-
shall rise.
yeah. Has everybody seen the Killian video on that?
That's amazing.
Oh, I love it. The Delawarean Empire.
The Delaware, of course, Delaware, the New Zealand of America.
New Zealand won't give
Do they shag
Australia.
sheep in Melbourne,
New Zealand won't give Australia its independence. The
doesn't
reason
matter now because
it
New
belongs
Zealand
to
is
New
the
Zealand
continent
because
it's
that's what
called
the
now.
continent is called now.
But I do love City Skylines. That is an excellent. That is an excellent. Basically, if you want to have a model railroad, but instead of that, it's a city. That's an excellent thing to do because it's just amazing to like make giant, just metropolises and just let the thing go and just.
Jeez, you got fucking out. You got years of that. You got 295 hours.
Yeah, and I
Jesus
got
Christ.
Don't look at what I played in I put in Darkest Hour, Victoria Revolution stuff.
Yeah, don't
Mathema,
look at.
Mathema is talking about logical positivism. Do you want to
Do you
talk
want to
about
come in, Mathema? Do you want to come in? Do you want to come in and play?
I love Mathema. I want to.
Yeah. He's
I
Met him once,
wanna-
and I think it was a cool guy.
I want to talk about logical positivism because
on my stream. Shit. It's like the golden. What are you talking about? The gooses, the ones that lay them golden eggs. Shit.
Who the hell is this Levitical guy, Mr. Spark? You've been going on about him for about an hour and a half.
Mr. Spark is Mr. Spark is like my sycophantic. He's like the guy in Jabba the Hutt's palace because I'm fat, so I'm Jabba the Hutt.
Oh,
Mr. Spark is like Mr. Spark is like the guy with the the guy with like the really pale skin and the red eyes and like the giant like tentacle going around his neck.
yeah, I
You know
remember
that guy. Yeah, he's the
the Martian Boo looking motherfucker.
Or no, maybe he's the little rat guy, the Carnicious Scrum. He's like my little minion I can send to everything. He sent me a picture of a cooked rabbit.
I hated that thing.
Yeah, it's the first Jew in Star Wars.
Blackjack, where are you with the gaming videos? They're coming along.
What
Hey,
are some? Oh,
Hey,
You know, I've been meaning to make videos about, he's starting a series of videos about video games in the style of Ross's Game Dungeon. I got one partially recorded, but I recorded it with my headset, and playing it back, it doesn't sound good enough to actually make a video with, so I might have to re-record it. And that means it'll take a while.
Problem with actually, I think I might end the stream in a little while because I don't want to go too long.
Yeah.
Maybe 20 more minutes.
Yeah, and I gotta get some dinner anyway.
So 20 more minutes, I think you can end it.
Okay, good enough.
Sorry,
Because I just joined into the stream.
Oh yikes! It's already
What do
for
you?
me.
What do you have to say?
Oh, just
What do you teach us?
nothing. I just want to say what I've been doing in my summer. Oh no! Here's something that impressed you. I'm gonna turn on my face cam. Hello. Well, here's things I found at the thrift store.
Oh my
This
god, you're ugly. I'm just joking.
I don't care. It's the internet. I take things less seriously. I don't really
dude,
care.
that is racist, my dude. You can.
That's racist.
We can have a face cam party after we go offline.
Yeah, sure. But I just want to
You know
show these things what I got from the
And
thrift
take
store.
care. You have to be wearing clothes.
I am wearing clothes. I am wearing. You know what? You know what? Fine. I am wearing clothes. I am wearing my Hatsune Miku T-shirt.
No,
I'll get my Attack on Titan t-shirt.
This is Attack on Titans. That's an anime, is it?
Yeah.
Yes,
terrible one.
yes, it is.
Oh,
And I have
how
3
would you
animes I've owned.
Is
From
it any
thrift store.
good?
It's basically
Really good.
Carl Schmidt, the anime.
Who's Carl Schmidt?
He was a philosopher. Who was
Wait, so you're saying there's an anime that's like a philosopher?
No, there's an anime. A lot of its elements are based on the philosophy of somebody who was one of the most prominent members of the Third Reich.
Yeah, well, isn't more Nietzsche than anything else?
Nietzsche?
the
No,
Nazis.
no. I think the
It's
Nazis
almost-
kind of misappropriated Nietzsche.
It's Carl
Well,
Jung, and Carl Jung created all the archetypes. And
How can you misappropriate
worship him
Nietzsche?
because you've got to
That's
sort
there's
yourself
some
out.
correct way to appropriate Nietzsche, and
Wait,
Nietzsche would strongly
yeah.
disagree with that.
Nietzsche was kind of the ultimate romantic.
What? Isn't
What?
he the opposite?
That would have been
Nietzsche
No,
would insist
No,
that
he
you
was
should
very
make up-
idealistic, I'd
Well,
say.
here's the
He
thing
was
about Nietzsche.
indifferent.
Nietzsche would insist that you should make up your own meaning of him and his texts, and the Nazis were like, "Okay,
Well, that was a stupid thing for Nietzsche to say.
yes, it was,"
Well-
but Nietzsche said a lot of very stupid things.
I mean, yeah,
You know,
he kind
true.
of already did.
That is true.
Well, basically,
You know,
if you want to
I
know,
have an idea though. This is a
Nietzsche
theory.
is proof. Nietzsche is proof that being original does not make you great.
yeah, well, if you want to know Nietzsche, just read The Ego in Its Own. That's where all his ideas come from.
Yeah,
always found it
from
more
a guy who was
Schopenhauer.
much more intelligent than he was.
Spookman.
Yeah, but that's not even saying that much,
Rex
honestly.
Turner.
I appreciate Sir's honesty, but I don't necessarily appreciate his brain.
Oh,
One
I'm
thing
fascinated
I'd
by
recommend to try to
I'm
understand.
fascinated by the
Nietzsche.
brain. I'm
Hold
fascinated.
on, one at a time. One at a time.
Sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
No, one thing I'd recommend to try to understand Nietzsche would be the lectures of Rick Riordan. I believe that's his name. Rick Roderick. My bad. Rick Roderick. He has lectures that you can watch on YouTube. Nietzsche and the Postmodern Condition is the
Invite
name of his
Blackjack.
course.
Invite Blackjack. He's been asking.
I'll invite Jack Black in. Fine.
And the thing
I'll
about
imagine- I'll
the thing
message
about
you.
Roderick is he has this South Texas accent that's just completely outrageous, and so he's explaining all this deep Nietzschean concepts with this total
Well,
Texas
the power,
accent. Exactly,
power,
that is exactly what it is. Yeah, and that's
gaze back into the abyss gazes back at you.
I tell
is
you what, Bobby.
exactly. But it's legit philosophy content. It's just that the accent makes it hilarious.
So basically, in other words, Hank Hill working on philosophy, is it?
I guess, yeah.
The boy ain't right. This is a theory. Hold on. This is a theory I've been working on, but I almost think that you could think of Nietzsche as he's sort of the snake. He's the second snake in the garden. And like in the early 19th century, mankind took another bite of the apple.
Well, the thing,
No.
another thing to understand about Nietzsche, though, is that he saw himself as fighting against nihilism.
If the second bite of the apple exists, it's not Nietzsche. It's Voltaire.
Well, no, but the thing is,
I'd
Voltaire's
say
ideas were
Hume,
rejected.
but whatever.
They were forcibly rejected.
Voltaire said some of the most pernicious things ever spoken by a human being. I mean, for his time. For his time.
What?
Yeah,
If
Voltaire
God
was.
didn't exist, we'd have to invent him. That's pretty much the most Machiavellian, self-centered.
Well, I kind of agree with that, but
Yeah, well, that's basically saying, God is just something we can use to control the masses, but being extremely honest about it. Like, I guess I appreciate the honesty. I just don't like that
God
is a.
At
Look,
that
if
point,
the
at that
Christian
point,
God
stop
doesn't
saying
exist-
I
if the
appreciate the
Christian
honesty.
God doesn't exist, we would be better off if we convinced people that he did. That's a sentiment that I agree with.
I would say that the French probably need to be less honest.
I would say that the French just need to be gassed.
That's
And
that's
can't
true.
they-
French
They
need
can
to-
do it in Germany.
But you know, accepting genocide, I think the only thing left to do is just to tell them to lie
Vince?
more.
Have you watched Iron Sky?
No, I don't care about Nazis on the moon.
You need to watch Iron Sky, seriously.
No, I follow Eagles. I care about World War. I care about good Germany.
Yeah, he doesn't like
it's
evil
just,
Germany.
It's just too funny to to not see.
To
Ha,
Nazi,
ha. Get off my stream. Read.
Your puns are bad, and you need to be punished.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you what, Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby!
What's this stream gone into, really?
That's fine. It's fine. At least thing is, I hadn't been able to figure out what I wanted to make a video on. So at least the stream will give people something to kind of where I think of something.
At least.
I'm thinking about, like, if I ever make a Patreon video, which you should donate to, it'll be like I'll have like I want to make like a really well made like a video advertising for it. So it'll be like all portrayed as like a World War I sort of like German war bond drive. So everything will have like subtitles in German, and it'll have like the photo filters to make it look like it's all old timey.
That sounds great. That's a good idea.
If you ever need a field, I got plenty of them.
Try not to be an Armored Skeptic clone.
Yeah, don't worry. We're part of the. I'm gonna create the new the new Four Horsemen.
No. Haven't you heard? Fritz is a Crowd T clone.
Don't try to and don't
I
be.
like Crown D. So
Who are
that's
the horsemen? Who are the horsemen?
Wait,
it's armored septic. It's armored septic guy.
Armored
Sargon
Sargon of Assad.
Sargon of PewDiePie.
no, Sargon of Assad. He's
I would
basically.
I would prefer to call him Ashurbanhammer 40,000.
That works
Okay.
too.
Then there's Atheism is Unstoppable and Thunderfoot. No.
No, technically we call-
I thought it was amazing.
No, wait, I finally realized. No, I remember it was the picture. It was Sargon Thunderfoot. He was in it, and
Yeah,
the Amazing
Thunderfoot.
Autist. Thunderfoot and the
Yeah,
Amazing Autist. I'm gonna
Yeah, we went over that.
Used to be
Okay.
Pat Condell, but he dropped off the map. Does anyone
Who
even
the hell is
remember
Dinner
Pat
Dennis?
Condell?
Does anybody actually care about him?
I've read some of the things he's written, and he's fucked in the head.
He's what?
Oh, sorry, he's messed up in the brain area.
So is Sam Harris.
So am I, and I'm doing all right.
Oh, be nice to yourself.
What?
You're not that.
I'm doing
That's-
all right.
Yeah.
I'm doing all right.
He's concerned.
I'm doing.
I ruined it.
Look,
Alright.
Israel is real. Get it, guys?
I'm still recovering from a fucking psychological disorder. I'm
What, being an
No.
atheist?
being an
It's-
Oh, no.
Isn't everybody recovering from some sort of psychological disorder or another?
Well,
Yeah,
that's just
Trigger.
called living in the,
Well,
that's called
there was
living
a
in the
point-
modern world. That's
Yeah.
Exactly.
real problems
Thank you,
anymore.
Fritz.
Well, there was a point where I actually had a nervous breakdown,
Oh,
Damn.
like a logical breakdown, like at the end of 2016. I just
Jeez.
I kind of noticed that.
did anybody else
You're
notice I
back
dropped
to
off the
Trump
fucking
one.
earth for a bit? Nobody fucking
Let
noticed.
me guess. You watched
I know.
Sinclair,
I kind of noticed
I
watching your
noticed.
videos.
Okay, one guy at a
I
time.
noticed.
Admittedly.
You probably watched the Riley J. Dennis video, and that's what triggered the episode, wasn't it?
No, it was
Yeah.
it's Trump's victory. I mean, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this is happening. I'm literally about to fucking kill myself. You better do something to fix this shit right now.
Someone call an
I nearly
ambulance.
broke my hand today because of Sargon's Syria video.
It was when I realized that classical liberalism wasn't going to work for me, and that it was more or less founded on sand.
Well,
Well,
wait,
it used to be founded on sand. It used to, a classical liberalism of like John Locke and the American founding fathers, that can work, but it's just like, yeah, well, everyone's just sort of innately liberal, and
Everybody
like we just need to get rid of it. You know, come on, guys, we just have to get rid of these few bad apples, like the SJWs, and everything will be fine. We'll just all go back to the '90s, and everything will be fine.
They believe that they're. I watched so many people that thought they were the arbiters of truth and reason and logic, and they believe in things like human rights, and they're atheists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, how can you believe? How on earth can you believe that humans have been granted human rights, that they're endowed by nothing with rights?
No, the
How does that work?
government endows them.
Where do rights come from if not a god? This idea was invented by people who believe that these rights came from God, and
No,
yet
they
still
came
believe
from-
in them and think that you can drop the causality.
No, they came from the top cap.
And I'm an atheist, and I can't resolve that without dropping either atheism or the belief in human rights. So I drop the latter.
It makes sense.
It's just like, hold on. It's just like Mr. Jefferson says. It's just human rights, guys. We just get rid of the government, and the non-aggression principle. It'll work because we have human rights, because of natural rights.
Yeah.
As they walk their ass to the gulag.
Yeah.
Well, wait, no, what's the ANCAP version?
I love the meme of fucking Crouten Tea, and I love Crouten Tea.
Yeah.
But I love the meme of him, sitting there on the execution pad about to be.
That's the thing I made.
He's like, this isn't conducive to a free and open society.
Yeah, that's the liberal.
That was Russian. That was very Russian.
But yeah. Kranti has it's mixed posh British accent and effeminate German.
Yeah.
Effeminate German.
It
I don't know if
is
it's
not
effeminate.
I did love
I would
this.
say more mad scientist German than effeminate German.
I
No,
did
it's
say
the
this.
English part. It's the English part.
It would be the English part that makes it sound gay, wouldn't it?
Anyways, I do love the fact I did love on Sargon's Brexit live stream where they had Kraut T read a statement from Jean-Claude Juncker. It's just it sounded so fucking terrifying and just it is very sorrowing that the UK should leave, but we will carry on for a further united Europe. Despite the nationalist populace, and sorry, is anybody else glad we're leaving? Anyone else glad? Because it sounds so creepy.
Yeah.
I love that.
Isn't
it amazing that how pissed must the YouTube and SJW progressives that run YouTube and Google be that the biggest YouTuber is a shitlord?
A blonde-haired, white-skinned shitlord from Sweden.
He's not even a shitlord.
And everybody.
I only started watching PewDiePie after that whole incident with the Wall Street Journal, and I watched one of his videos a while back and decided I didn't like it. I like the way he does things now. So.
I didn't. I subscribed to him for a few days after that happened, and I said, no, it's not really my thing. I don't watch every. Yeah. Right.
I'll subscribe back to JonTron when he makes another damn video.
Yeah.
He never makes videos. It's such a pain.
I mean,
I'm so
disappointed to him. I would know.
I'm so fucking disappointed with JonTron.
With the boy.
For
because
what?
he can't debate.
He's not a master debater.
He's not educated enough to know what the fuck he's talking about.
That's most of the people on YouTube, to be fair.
Exactly, and
Well,
the same
yeah,
thing with Destiny.
I get
with
the
Destiny.
feeling, with JonTron,
Exactly.
it's different. I get the feeling that a child has walked into something he doesn't know about.
Well, that's what I.
That's the
what
amazing
they do.
atheist, though.
Well, it's Sargon too in a lot of instances.
No, I think. Well, thinking of Sargon, at least, I think Sargon is an intelligent person. I think he's a fairly intelligent.
I think Sargon is well read and he's averagely intelligent.
I stopped watching Sargon after he read David Hume and decided that he had learned everything he ever needed to know about human nature.
Yeah,
Why
that pissed me off a little bit too.
Why the hell
Why
would you
does
have
Sargon
those Sargon?
pigeonholes
To be
everything
honest.
into individualism versus collectivism? Like that's collectivism, individualism. It's
There's nothing in between. Nothing.
Yep.
That basically, so wait, Sargon is an ANCAP? It's like, the thing is, a family is a
I
collective.
think Sargon
A
doesn't
nation's
know
right is a collective.
protects our individual rights.
A pure individualist would be like the most nihilistic Machiavellian person you'd ever meet.
Well,
Mr. Dapperton?
No,
That's the
Mr.
Wizard of
Dapperton
Oz.
started on
Mr.
that one.
Sargon kind of just goes with his gut on things.
Mr.
you know?
Dapperton is not nihilistic. He has an ideal that he wants to aspire to.
Wizard of Oz would be
Yeah,
like,
no.
But if his ideal were ever to be carried out, it's
Yeah,
I don't
but that's
horrible.
well, that's again, that's most people, Fritz. If most
I
people's
don't think
ideal
I
is
don't
like
think
that.
he has I don't think he has bad intentions. I think
yeah,
that
he's
he
naive.
I think he's not,
Yeah,
yes.
Yes. I think
that's 99% of the time bad ideas are naivete.
It's like
Isn't inherently
what was that one individualist thinker, like
Orthodox.
Benjamin Tucker, who argued that mothers should be allowed to throw their babies into the fire, and that if you tried to stop them, that you should be arrested for property violation.
Bring back ritual offerings.
It's very terrible right there.
We're already fine with that anyways because we kill babies anyways.
Yeah.
Make burnt offerings great again.
No. Now you asked.
I don't think individualism is inherently nihilistic because, like, if you look at the orthodox view of the individual, if you are both orthodox and hyper-individualistic, then you would not be a nihilist at all.
I think the thing is, like, there is more nuance to it, you know, because I can think of three fairly good. I can think of a few very good collective identities that aren't inherently bad, like
religion?
family, like the family, religious, or secular community and nation state. Because the thing is, there is such a thing as group rights that I think that somebody like Sargon would be fine with, which is the fact that there's rights for all citizens, and there's rights citizens have, a group of citizens have, and there's rights that non-citizens don't have. And it's like, that is discriminatory because you are not a part of what they would say is an arbitrary line in the sand that once you cross this, you're in our territory now,
Fritz,
and you don't have rights here.
for Fritz, corporations are people.
Corporations are people.
Corporations are people, my friend.
Look, the globalists care about me. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates is not an evil globalist that is evil chicken-neck bastard going, let's kill everybody. And the globalists are just trying to put all the chemicals in the water that turn me gay.
Yeah, this is where I differ with Alex
Chemicals in the
Jones.
chicken nuggets to turn the kids gay.
This is where I differ with Alex Jones. I don't think globalists are evil. I just think they have bad ideas.
Who?
I said this is where I differ with Alex Jones. I don't think globalists are evil. I just think they have terrible ideas.
I just think they're
Well,
looking
no,
out for
you see-
themselves.
I think
Yeah,
it started
but-
out well with like Versailles and like the 14
What?
points and the idea of
Oh,
self-determination.
okay, I see what you're going.
See,
Like that kind of beginning.
Versailles would have worked out great if the French weren't involved.
No, it would have worked great if as few people as possible. Hey, this war that's ruining Europe and Western civilization.
Let's blame it on Germany.
Let's add more people to it. That'll work. And think, okay, yeah, it's like
Wait, what? You're gonna have to go back because I didn't catch what your point
we
was.
lost 110,000 guys for nothing. My great grandfather almost piece of shit Wilson.
Okay.
I don't understand what was the point of us going into World War I. We gained nothing from that.
Oh, why? Freedom of the seas, man. That was pretty much it.
Fuck the freedom. If we were at peace, we would have freedom of the seas.
Well, Wilson tried to keep us out of the war as best he could.
Well, no, but the
He
thing is,
did
like,
until a point. He did until a point. At a certain point, he
until the
decided.
bankers, he did it until the bankers pull him aside and says you have to go to war with Germany because.
Well, it wasn't just the bankers. It was pretty much everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
U.S.
well,
foreign. Yeah, people like to think that U.S. foreign policy kind of went down the toilet after World War II. That is not true. It has been it has been not terrible, but it has been aggressive and expansionist and
Since 1898.
kind of Machiavellian since 1898.
Yeah.
The Spanish-American War was completely unjustified.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I have to agree with him. I've studied
The
this.
Spanish-American War was a bad idea.
I like
It's not like
that.
it was a bad idea due to like a weird quirk in how the treaty was written. The U.S. was actually obligated to declare war on Cuba. Now, it's totally ridiculous, but if you like read the treaties, you realize how absurd.
What treaty?
So U.S. and Spain signed a treaty that if any country other than Spain ruled over Cuba, then the U.S. would declare war on them. So by becoming independent, Cuba essentially violated an international agreement and
Because it
brought the
rules.
U.S. to declare war on them. It's really convoluted.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So yeah,
I
when
think the US
we
could
say it
have
was
been honorable and
unjustified,
opted out, but
I think when Fritz says it was unjustified, he's not saying that legally it was unjustified because legally it was.
it was
He's
totally
saying-
a bullshit war.
He's
Definitely.
saying that
Yeah.
morally it was unjustified.
The Spanish were not it was a classic.
No. The Spanish-American War was unjustified in every way except for legally, of course.
Yeah, I think it's like World War One as well. It's the same. Yeah, obviously.
I would disagree with that slightly. I would say that intervention in World War One was not necessary, but I mean, I think it's kind of a wash.
I think this is the thing is like there's 4 things that could have happened in World War One, from the best outcome to the worst outcome, and it's that the best outcome would be that it resolved itself really quickly in 1914. Then,
Thanks,
if
Belgium.
not that,
But that was never going to happen.
thanks Obama.
I think it
The
would have
next thing
happened.
would be the next thing would be hold up. The next thing would be negotiating peace, which would have been possible because there was numerous peace attempts from 1914 from 1915.
Well, I mean, you could argue that it was a negotiated peace.
Hold on. But the problem is that each side refused to go to the peace talks because they thought they were just on the verge of getting the upper hand. Then I think that German victory would have been better than Allied victory. I think that the way history. I mean, this is completely throwing it out there because we have no idea what would have happened. But I think that had the Germans won World War One, first off, Nazism wouldn't have happened, and secondly, Soviet communism wouldn't have happened. We would have still had to deal with an imperialist Japan, though.
Disagree on Soviet.
Isn't that similar to Sargon's argument of listen to and obey the demands of the poor, lest they rise up against you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't, wait, Adams, is that?
Yeah, I
non-sequitur?
think Fritz, your analysis of what German
My
victory
analysis.
your analysis of what German victory would have
Look, I've got all the documents right here.
would have been wrong. I think you're probably wrong about Soviet communism. I think
The thing is, had the Germans won, their initial step one would be intervene and crush Lenin.
Well, I mean, a lot of the problems that Germany would have had would have been, I don't think they could have sustained both overseas territories and a European empire. I just don't think there were enough Germans.
They would become like Britain because they would have become the world. They would have become the main hegemon of Europe and maybe the world. Maybe not the world, but
They would not have become like Britain.
the enormous cost of the war would have put their overseas colonies in jeopardy. Yes, but I think that I think I'd rather have a world in which Hitler never rose to power, and
That could
Stalin.
have been averted even without German victory if the Allies didn't just give all the debt.
That's just the French.
Nation.
Yeah, I think it's.
Hitler can be blamed entirely on the French.
Thing is, yeah, again, I agree with you, Anarcho. I think a better treaty would have been, the best treaty would have been white peace. No
I don't
territorial
think that's
changes.
true either.
That's the only way you could have had it where there wouldn't be major revolutions in
I
any of the
think-
countries.
Yeah, but it
I
still
think
might have facilitated
Hitler
a
never rose to power, then we would have a global superstate of an absolute dictatorship ruled by Ron Serling.
Well, I think
Who?
that the idea of a white.
Wait,
The guy from the Twilight.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Who's
okay.
Ron Serling? Who's Ron Serling?
The guy
Yeah,
from
that
the Twilight
sounds
Zone.
Yeah, he's nuts. Okay.
I don't think a white
the
piece
host
would have been.
of the Twilight Zone.
Whatever.
I know.
I don't think that a white piece would have been very beneficial either
That was
because
a joke. You
it
guys
still
didn't
would
get
have
it.
facilitated a second round a generation later.
I think the best outcome would have been probably some concessions made by Germany, but nowhere near what would have. I think that would have probably led to a more stable Germany in the end.
I agree with Fritz that the best possible solution would have been a quick solution.
Yeah, but that was never going to happen.
The idea. I mean, the Christian ideal would have been like if the Christmas truce had sort of grown and like all the soldiers for sort of Christian unity said, no, we're not going to fight each other anymore because this is stupid.
Yeah, but that would have only really happened on the west.
Let's invade.
Well, it happened on the western front. It would have ended on the eastern front as well because I think the Russians would figure, okay, so now there's no more western front. Yeah, the Germans are going to destroy us.
I mean,
basically what you're doing is you're assuming that the Germans wouldn't basically revolt in the same way that you think the Allies would too.
Well, don't pretend, Fritz, that the new atheist idea of history is correct, because these people, the idea of being Christian didn't tie them together as much as nationality did. Nationality was much more important for them than the fact that they were Christian. It would not have happened in a way. It could never have happened that they would have said, "Well, you're Christian, I'm Christian. Let's agree not to."
The same way that they wouldn't. That's why the Marxists.
Let's go fight those Ottomans over there. It wouldn't have happened.
Christian unity really.
That hadn't ended since the
Christian unity was like something that was talked about.
If that was ever a thing, it ended with the death of Charlemagne.
Actually, it ended with Martin Luther. It ended with Martin Luther.
Yeah, I would say Martin Luther would be more accurate.
Actually, with Islam moving into Europe, it might be on the rise.
Europeans went to war all the time prior to Martin Luther. Are you kidding?
I would say that it was very weak, and then Martin Luther just killed it.
Have you not heard of the 30 Years' War?
Yeah.
That happened after Martin. That happened 100 years after Martin Luther.
Or I'm sorry, not the 30 Years' War, the 100 Years' War. I was mistaken.
Yeah, the 100 Years' War.
That's because the French ruined everything.
The French ruined.
Let's be fair here. That was equal parts French and English ruining everything.
I'm sorry.
Wait, and weren't the English? Wasn't that a fight between the Catholics and the Anglicans anyway?
No.
The Church of England. But the thing is, like, people don't. It is a bit more confusing because the fact that there would have been a more sort of understanding of a fairly more independent sort of English church, even when it was still Catholic. Same thing with like Ireland had sort of its own sort of distinct Catholic church.
I think that Christianity is a false union. I think the idea that people can the idea that people could ever agree to lay down arms and love each other as Christians is ridiculous. Because nationality.
They at least did it for a day on Christmas in 19.
What do you think about the alt-right's idea of a racial union?
I mean,
that's
stupid.
That's stupid.
At least with Christianity, there is some semblance of like
a racial union is even dumber than the religion.
Target. Europe has never been unified, at least in any way. At least in any way that was under race. I mean, the Nazis did it, but
I don't think the alt-right can pull it off because they're always arguing about what white is.
Yeah.
I mean, are the Japanese still honor?
Honestly, I know the first ones that are going to kick out of the white circle are going to be the Slavs.
Well, the thing is, I'm screwed too.
The Slavs are kebab movers.
I'm screwed because I both worship a Jew. I'm screwed because I both worship a brown Jew, and because I don't hate black people, and I'm part Italian.
Well, yeah. How does a lot of the alt-right are Christian?
Not white.
How do they square that with their worldview?
Well, they're Christians in quotation.
Jesus is an honorary alien.
White. Jesus was white, yo.
No, that's what the Mormons say.
And technically he was Jewish.
But you could also be wrong.
He was an honorary Aryan.
Honorary alien.
Yep.
Think about it. How could Jesus be subhuman if he was God?
Checkmate, atheists.
You're gonna have to speak closer to your microphone, buddy.
No, I think there's voices in the background.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's my friend. Sorry.
You don't have any friends.
No, technically
He's talking about his imaginary friends.
He's not.
We're their friends now.
We're terrible friends.
Well, the thing is, I just have a roommate.
Scotch McGinnis just made a great point. The only time that Christians were actually unified was during the Roman Empire, the later Roman Empire.
Even that's
Or
not
Charlemagne.
technically
Or
true, because
Charlemagne.
the East and Western.
When East and West were a single empire, that short
Yeah,
period of time.
even then, they weren't that unified.
Even then,
That is
the Roman
true.
Empire was falling apart.
Yeah.
That is true. Stupid
If
Christian.
Christians have ever been unified today,
No.
would probably
Christian
the most
unity.
they would probably be the most unified today, just because
That's
very
true.
few people are.
Yeah,
less,
that's true.
we have the least.
It's because
Well, to
Christians,
be
have
fair-
Christians in the West have been kicked out of mainstream culture and political dominance.
I
But
think
when-
that Christians.
But
I
in their
think,
own culture.
I think that Christians of different stripes and colors kind of band together today because they face so much opposition.
Because the atheists.
If that
It's like
opposition didn't exist, they wouldn't see the union.
Well, that's how most.
That's why you saw.
It's like this. It's like you might have some Protestants saying, well, Catholics are not Orthodox aren't real Christians, but then they'll say like Christians in the Middle East are being persecuted. Those would be, but normally you wouldn't say that they're Christians, would you?
Right. I do think that nationalism. I do think that nationalism is generally speaking a stronger force than religion.
And I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with nationalism.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
You look at
I
the
haven't no
Crusades.
problem.
I have a problem with
Were,
blood and
like,
soil
Lockstep
nationalism.
with each other, the Muslims, and immediately turned on each other based on national lines, just because there was no more target for them to go after.
Wait, what was this?
Yeah.
It was like within 5 minutes they were at each other's throats.
Oh, the Crusades.
Jesus was olive skin colored. Hey, here's a question: Why do we consider olive to be a kind of a tan color and not just black? Because
I mean, I don't really care.
I thought olives were green.
olive,
There's different types of olives.
all the olives I've ever eaten are black.
There's also the one you see in martinis. I think it was green olives. Yeah, green olives as well.
Yeah, they have green olives. They have tan olives. Olives come in all sorts of colors.
Just like people.
Exactly, just like nuts.
But there are no white olives.
That's
There are
racist,
no
man.
white olives.
Yeah, there's
I mean,
Wait, you
God-
can't, you
God
can't be
had a
olive
plan.
against. You can't be olive against whites.
God had
Oh,
a plan.
white-
God had a
Whiteness is a social
God had a
construct.
plan for humans in the olives.
No, there is a white olive.
I never understand this.
Oh, there is a white
People are
olive?
like-
Okay, I'm wrong.
I don't understand this when people talk about miscegenation, where it's like, okay, a white person and a black person have a kid. The kid is not black. The kid is half black. Sargon look black to you.
Here's you know what everybody is red, white, and blue on the inside.
Look, I stood up and told
That's
that
right.
teaching lady. No, I stood up and
Yeah.
told that teaching lady the only three letters I need to know are US and A.
Yeah. Huh.
Texas. Fucking worst state ever.
Oh, no.
Well,
Oh,
every
wait, no, that's Ohio. That's
Hey,
Ohio.
hey,
Never
guys,
mind.
guys, everybody is red on the inside except monarchs. They're blue.
No, they're red.
That's all nobles. That's all nobles.
Well,
Also, communists
everybody
are
has red guts, blue blood, and white bones.
So we're all French.
But communists are just hollow skin.
Or the Australians.
What are we
So,
doing?
yeah,
Communists weigh 100 pounds because none of them eat meat.
Communists are just
that's
special.
essentially
That's
justice
funny.
warriors.
No, social justice warrior can also be over 200 pounds.
And they can
Did you
use
guys hear
Because,
the
because my ninjetics. No,
The-
genetics.
Wait, no,
that
Kim
got
Jong-un,
punched?
he's
The
white.
porn
weighs like
star?
100 pounds? Yeah, she weighs like 100 pounds.
She weighs
Yeah,
less than
yeah.
100 pounds.
Who's that?
I think it was
Yeah.
98.
I could straight
technically.
up curl her.
Gosh, who is this?
The it was in a
With
Yeah,
The,
yeah,
the chick with dreadlocks that got punched by the street
yeah.
Randall
guy.
Berkeley. This is the thing my challenge to the classical liberals. Like, it's like, okay, so what the hell is classical liberalism supposed to do now? It's like classical liberalism is the that's the agreement. That's the peace treaty people sign. That's the agreement people sign saying, okay, we're not going to kill each other
I
over these
disagree
issues.
with what
We're
you
gonna
say, but I
allow
defend
have
you that the right to say it.
and then debate them.
Yeah, like,
But now when people say, well, we're just not going to do that, liberalism doesn't exist anymore.
Liberalism is very
It's a
rare.
social construct.
Well, to be fair, it's an ideology, so by definition, it is a social construct.
No, I'm against all ideologies.
All ideologies are social constructs.
Taxation is a social construct. Checkmate.
that's true.
Language is a social construct, so everyone needs to stop talking.
That is true.
Everyone needs to speak in feminist, which is like guttural utterance.
How do you speak in feminism?
No, everyone needs to
Agree.
speak postmodernism, which is essentially fart noises.
Smelling your own farts.
South Park was
How
right.
much postmodernist philosophy have you actually read?
None.
All I need to know is the base of postmodernism, which is
All I need to know about
ideas
postmodernism-
and language are.
I'm only asking. I'm only asking because I love. Whenever I ask that question, everybody's answer to that question is none.
I read
'cause it's all
some.
shit.
That's a good point. That is a good point, Sinclair.
Well, I'm
No, I have-
sorry.
there's-
I can't take an ideology.
Wait, I read.
Okay,
There's
I read
hold on,
time.
sorry,
One guy at a time. One
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
at a
Can
time.
I go?
Let me talk.
Can I
This
go?
is my stream.
Yeah.
Can I go next, Fritz?
Oh,
Yeah. 1 second. Sinclair, does it count if I've read critical theory stuff? Is that postmodernist? Master, is it? Am I right? Is critical theory part of postmodernism, Goyim? Okay, Josh, you can go. Then anarcho.
In college humanities / philosophy, I read some postmodernism, and
Oh, you poor
I
boy.
decided it was all trash, and I did not want to read any more of it beyond what was required reading.
My psycho.
Okay, you're back, Sinclair. So wait, does critical theory count as postmodernism?
Does critical theory count as postmodernism?
No.
That's a tough question.
Are there counts in Texas?
Are there what and what?
Nothing you need to know.
I would-
Texan boy.
I would say it
Are
doesn't.
there cows in Texas? Yes, there are cows in Texas.
Are there also homosexuals?
I haven't seen any. But
I
Well,
actually in December in December I went down to stay with a guy for about 2 weeks in around the Longview, Texas area, and it turns out that the Longview, Dallas, Fort Worth area is actually relatively gay.
Oh, thanks for coming to my stream, Sinclair. This is why I didn't want to bring you.
Well, you asked a question: are there gays in Texas?
Well, there are if you go there.
well, to be fair, he's right about that.
Well, there's only two types from Texas: steers and queers.
quiz.
Oh, wait, you finally got
And
it.
you don't seem like a
If you're
steer.
afraid of the answer, don't ask the question.
No, everything needs to fit my perfect little bubble.
Well, guys, I was going to say, it was asked whether I'd read any postmodernism. And I said, well, one of my professors did assign Adorno, but I didn't want to waste my time. So I didn't read Adorno because he does not deserve to be read.
Did you spark?
Critical theory is an important part of the Frankfurt School. The word postmodernism is a little bit watered down at this point.
What happens after postmodernism, though?
It's difficult to
What's
know what
after that.
Well, either nothing or some sort of revival.
Transmodernism.
Transmodern, kill me now.
French modernism.
No, God.
There's an
Why is that every bad idea I've ever read has come from continental Europe?
Because
I think you
continental
just answered
Europe
your
is
own
full of
question.
Crazy people.
There's an art movement called the New Sincerity that comes after postmodernism.
Yeah, that's where Brody's came from.
It's
Isn't
basically-
vaporwave like New Sincerity?
No, that's retroism.
To be fair, New York is on par with continental Europe for bad ideas.
Somebody said
So
you
it's-
interrupted Anarcho. Did Anarcho want to say
Oh,
something?
yeah, anarcho, yeah, you can tell.
Oh,
What do you
well,
want to say?
all I'll say about postmodernism, if the founding idea of postmodernism is that all language is, like all ideas and ideologies is just fundamentally false, then I don't see any point in giving postmodernism a hearing, because that very idea refutes itself, because it requires utilizing language in order to tell me that language is false or something.
To be true, postmodernism is a philosophy that actually uses skepticism in its philosophical sense, which I find incredibly ironic.
Read Marx.
debate modernism.
Not skepticism as in the modern sense of
I'm
doubt,
just memeing. Ignore
but
me.
skepticism in the philosophical epistemological sense.
Like all that can be known for certain is nothing can be known for certain, which is a contradiction and thus refutes itself.
I mean, basically, that's part of it. Yeah.
It's funny that the trademark skeptics are arguing against skepticism.
That was the best refutation, though.
To be
when it came
fair-
from Naked Ape, when he said they're empiricists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they call themselves rationalists, but they'll argue against
Yeah.
reason in favor of empiricism.
Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
they call themselves skeptics, and they argue directly against the concept of skepticism when they argue against what they call postmodernism, because
Mhm.
postmodernism is a skeptic philosophy.
So again, yeah, it's curious is what people will
Then
call
drop it.
something after. Well, I'm pretty sure that
Young Turks.
what.
The Young Turks.
Young Turks who don't actually deny the Armenian
We
genocide.
call them kebabs.
They just called themselves that because they didn't know what the hell they were doing.
It's yeah, but the thing is, like, of course, instead, yes, I'm drunk now. Instead of saying, yeah, our bad, we didn't know it at the time, they just flip out. Like, there's a thing where, like, Anna Kaspera in Real Talk, I say fucked a lot, so you need to take me seriously. It's like, she says, yeah, I deny it. Yeah, or no, she didn't say, yeah, I deny it. Yeah, I acknowledge it. Yes, I acknowledge it. Started screaming at people.
And then she starts speaking in Armenian. It's great. It's like, because I'm half Jewish myself. Imagine I'm an anchor for the young Nazis, and someone asked me about, Baroko Taranai, Alahelo Manakolam.
To be fair,
the
it
young
would be the SS.
the young pharaohs.
Mhm.
The young Kangs. The young Kangs.
Young Kangs.
I would
Sean
actually-
Kang's gonna be
I
on
would
it
actually
now.
love to make a podcast called The Young Pharaohs,
Yes.
and I'm gonna dress up like
they-
like Merrick from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh God.
I just love Sargon's suggestion of having like the Hitler Youth podcast with like a co-host of like so Goldstein
Mm-hmm.
as like that would be the greatest thing ever.
Bernie
And I
Sanders.
want it to exist. Now it has to be like a really Jewish name, like Mordecai Goldstein, just to really drive home.
Bloody.
I would watch it just to immerse myself in irony.
And then a main host called Franz von Affenbach.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, the host
Franz
was
von
called Kraut.
Pfefferdoffen.
The host
Franz
host
von
would be
Ganondorf.
Kraut and tea.
Yeah, it'll be Kraut and Tea and what's his name? Skeptor, the Israeli guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
I think probably
That's gonna have to move if that happens.
like a Kraut and Cheese Sargon
He
stream.
already moved. He lives in Austria now.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's still gonna have to move if he's gonna run the Hitler.
Yeah, they do have laws there in Austria. Too.
Yeah, I mean, you know what they say about Austrians.
See, the Austrians managed to escape those. Like, oh no, it wasn't the Austrians that had Hitler and the early Nazis. No, it's just all Germans. We're not actually German.
To
Humans
be
are cultured
fair,
German and we speak German. And it
To be
was
fair,
from
the-
Austria.
to be fair to the Austrians, they didn't elect Hitler. They just decided to join him later on the road.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That-
they were already under a fascist government anyway.
Yeah.
Useless.
You see, that's why democracy isn't a good idea.
That's why I think everyone understood.
Democracy, the gun that failed. What?
The monarchy is God tier. Republics are good tier.
I wouldn't be. I would
reverse that, but whatever.
Okay with the idea of an elected legislature, but I think the executive branch, it either shouldn't exist or it shouldn't be something you vote for.
Well, the thing is, you need an executive branch anyway.
How about we just have a technocracy ruled by the overall, just so we can just have a giant council.
I
Everyone
think-
has to wear like robes.
You mean like the EU?
Yes.
I think
But like an E run by like the Knights Templar. And
Hey, I got a terrific idea. It's like the EU, but it works.
so not so.
Hey
so,
guys, I got a terrific idea. It's like the Nazi Empire, but it works. Hey
The
guys,
Nazi
I got a
Empire would have worked if they had won.
It's
It
like
wasn't
the
for the
Emperor,
deadly kids.
guys,
I
I
think
got a terrific idea. Never
it
mind.
might be.
Socialism never worked.
I could go on with that
International
forever.
socialism.
Pan-European state has been tried a lot. I can go on with that forever.
Well,
I think it might be interesting to try something like a bicameral legislature where one of them with where one of the legislatures is elected and one of them is like a ruling nobility, so that you'd have.
Yeah, we had that.
The English system.
No, the United States had that, right? Senators used to be chosen
By the states.
By the states.
But the
House of
States.
Lords and House of Commons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically,
I mean,
the way
that's where the idea came from. Is just we didn't want to have a nobility because nobility is inherently stupid.
No, it's not.
Well,
It's wonderful.
patriarchy.
It is.
I'm noble. I have noble blood.
It's a genetic lottery, Fritz. Sometimes
Well,
you
no,
lose.
it's not genetic lottery. It's actually, yeah, it's you lose that, honestly. It's like, because there's tons of, because of all the inbreeding, it's not good for you.
Let's not also mention the inbreeding.
Yeah, the thing is, all right, here's the thing is, if anybody in the world does need some, miscegenation and mixing, genetic diversity, it's nobility.
Yeah, but nobility inherently tries to stop from doing that.
Look at those people.
Yeah, who's gonna be the one to break the bad news to the alt-right that some amount of miscegenation is necessary to keep the species going?
Okay, here's the thing.
I'll do
right,
it.
White people, all right, marrying and having kids
There are
with a
enough white people to not need that.
No,
There's
okay,
a lot of
marrying
white-
and having kids with a white person is not the same as incest.
Yeah, I think there's like a number, 500,000 or something when you get over
think
that.
we should tell them anyway,
All the diseases, like all the what is it? The inherited diseases that you would get from being in such a tight knit group that basically disappears when you get over 500,000 or something.
500,000 what?
People.
Okay. No.
I think we should tell them anyway.
We need to be like the super left progressives. If a white person, if an Italian dates a Russian, that's basically incest.
Yeah, it's basically reverse eugenics, where we have to force diverse breeding so that we can get the supermen of all who incorporate all the best genetics of all the different races.
I want to create a master race of people with blonde eyes and blue hair.
Is that possible?
No, it is an anime.
Yes.
So you can
All right.
do it, Fritz. You can do it. All you have to do is learn how to draw.
I think
You just have to make anime real, and then you'll do it.
we need to contact the president.
What was this?
We need.
Make a petition. Make anime real, Mr. Trump.
Or we need holograms. So I think
I think honestly, anybody who signs that petition is guilty of treason and should be shot.
I mean, Japan's basically already trying to do that.
All right, and with that, I think we can end our stream. Thank
Night,
you
everyone.
everyone for being here. I think we'd have a happy Easter. 2 minutes away from it not being Easter, so I can get back to sitting. So everyone, have a good night. God bless, and see you later.